All right. Says we're live. And we're right on time. So check, check, check. Wait for a few more people to get in. Check, check, check. Wait for a few more people to get in. And start greeting folks. Got it together kind of late, so the announcement didn't go out on time. So it is what it is. Dr. Reggie, what's going on? Sam C, what's going on? Simeon Anderson, what's going on? Audio's good? Okay. All right. Cool Gamer. Mr. Donnie Mack. Cleveland Goodman, what's going on? Supreme, what's going on? Wally Woo, what's going on? Pragmatic, what's going on? DJ IT, what's happening? Yakim, what's going on? Detroit, what's happening? I'm listening. What's on, bruh? Chance, what's going on? You liked. Okay, cool. The toxic masculinist. I like that name. Dr. Thunder, what's happening? Versatile poetry, what's going on? Oh, you're gonna cover it tomorrow? Okay, cool. Indigo Flow, what's happening? Ash, what's happening? Retire USF. Okay, cool, man. Cool. Man, I would have been you. Okay, had I taken a different path, I would have been you because I was about a hair's way from being in the going to the academy, Air Force Academy in Colorado. About a hair's breadth away. So I would have been you. See all the medals on your chest. So that's probably the route that you went. Aaron Peters, what's going on? Victor, what's going on? Indigo Flow, what's going on? May the Alchemist. May. When I open it up, I hope you're here because I got something to talk to you about. Okay. And next time, because I heard what you heard the stuff that you used on Edwards. Okay. And you guys don't like the red pill, but you used my research against Edward, but you didn't give me credit. Okay. You didn't give me credit. Now, you guys, I don't mind, the thing is, I don't mind you guys coming up in here, okay? I don't mind because I don't block you as long as y'all cool, I don't come up in here. But the thing is, don't go someplace else and talk shit about me and come up in my chat because you take my stuff, you learn from me, then you go someplace and hate on me. I don't like that. And when I went up yesterday in Big J's chat, okay, Big J stream. Now you guys come up and holler and scream and act the fool in somebody else's stream. But thing when somebody does it to you, now he didn't like it, so I gave him a taste of his own medicine. But thing is, yeah, you'll be quiet. But thing is, next time I see you hating on me in somebody else's panel, okay, or getting in my business, guess what? I'm gonna block you. Okay. You guys, I know why you come up here because the women don't have anything over there. They don't talk about this kind of stuff. That's why you guys come over here, but you hate on the red pill. Go talk shit about the red pill. But the thing is, when we have something to offer, something to teach you that you can't learn no place else, then you bring your asses over here. Now we don't mind because I just saw Sunkissed um, up in cheesing up in Dr. Jeezy's. Okay, but y'all come on over here and then you guys talk shit about us. But we got to talk anyway. Let's get okay. Greetings, 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 Deep Alchem, Verma. Aaron Peters, Ray Hamner. Email Ray. Email me, Ray. I think you know my email. Email me, and we'll talk. Yeah, I don't like that, man. Because if you don't like us, no, we will go up later when after I finish this. We'll go up because we got to talk. Because I heard her. She talked about um, the distribution of feminism all over the world, right? And you could not have learned that except from here, because nobody else talks about that. I do mean nobody at this level talks about that except us, except me. The only people that should talk about this is and me and and unnamed. Okay. Oh, okay. No, 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 no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ash, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Uh, yeah, I was about a hair's breadth from where you were, man. But I would have gone in as an officer. Uh, I was about a hair's breadth. Anyhow, let's get started, man, so we can get this on up because yeah, because I don't want to get irritated. Because I've been dealing with this stuff, man. I've been dealing with these people, with these females, man. These females and these male simps, man, for the past 6 weeks. And when I go someplace, man, and go on the panel, say I don't mind. Okay, if you don't like me, don't like me. It's cool. I could care less. If you don't like me, half the people that listen to me don't like me. But the thing is, what I don't like you is to come up and ambush me in public, and then come back in my chat and you don't learn from me. I don't like that. If you don't like me, don't like me all the way. Or if you don't like me, stay quiet and leave me alone when I'm out someplace else. Okay, you don't have to like me, but you do have to respect me. And if you learn from me or you take something that I've learned, see the thing is, what I don't like is you say that what I say and what I talk about is bullshit, but then you go out and use it. I don't like that shit. I really don't. And y'all do that a lot. But anyhow, let me get started. This is a reaction to Pimp God's emotional intelligence, and he wanted me to review it, right? So I watched it once, and normally I break it down, and I really watch it a couple of times to really break it down. But the thing is, I watched it once to get a kind of a overview of it. It's like 10 minutes overview of it, and we've talked about this. Like we talked about the anima and the animus that exist in male and female, and I'll show you the diagrams of that after I finish reviewing his video. It's about maybe 10 minutes. And last week we talked about emotional labor. Okay, to actually use or actually perform emotional labor, you have to have some form of emotional intelligence. And like I said, emotional intelligence, okay, and emotional labor show up differently in males than it does in females. And with females are wired for emotional intelligence, okay? They're wired for emotional labor. They're wired for emotional intelligence. But thing is, they don't. The thing is, since they're wired for it, it's like anything else. They can't explain it. They can't access it. They just perform it because they have babies. So if they have babies, they have to be able to pick up the emotions or detect the emotions from with nonverbal emotions from people, body language, facial expressions, that kind of stuff. Which females are very good at because they're wired for it. They learn it very early. Men have to learn it a different way. So it takes men a little longer to actually pick up on um, emotional uh, uh, emotional labor from the outside. Men learn it internally first, where women don't. Women don't learn their internal emotions first. They learn that later. Okay, because they're built to learn the external. People pick up people's external emotions. Boys or males are more insular. Okay, it's inside out rather than outside in. Women are outside in first, and men are inside out. Men have the women are a group. Okay, that's what they think in a group. Men think as a singular entity inside of a group, which is different. If I could find this French philosopher that she described it, she actually did it beautifully. Maybe we'll talk about that. Maybe if I could find it tomorrow or someday this week, we'll actually include that. I didn't include that this time. But anyhow, we'll get started with Pimp God's video. Life of Pablo. I'm very well. You might be. You might be. Some people are born with it. Some people are born with it. Some people aren't. A pimp god is he's a he's a pimp, okay? And pimps are have to be wired for emotional intelligence. Okay. They're born wired. You know, almost like a female, they're born wired. That's how come they can understand and access, especially troublesome females, because they can actually control their emotions, control the female's emotions. So uh, they're one of the men can actually pick up on a female's emotions. So pimp god, we've been talking about this emotional intelligence and animus for God since pimp god for 2016 or so. So it's a good almost 8 years. So he wanted me to review this and discuss it. So I said, you know what? I said this seems like a good subject for the men. So here we go.
So, when you think about the relationship,
Put a one in if you guys can actually hear this. Y'all can hear it. Put a one in. Put a one in if you can hear it. Make sure that you guys can hear this, so I don't have to repeat it. All right. Okay. You guys can hear it. Cool.
between Neo in the Matrix and Morpheus, and then the relationship between Morpheus, Neo, and the Oracle. If you looked at the relationship between these three as a play and a display of consciousness in a man's journey to become a hero, the hero's journey, he starts out as the fool, like in the tarot deck. And at some point, he meets up with intelligence, logic. Even when Neo was introduced to the red pill, he couldn't handle it. So the first thing that was necessary for his evolution was the acceptance of the reality of things. And he had to come to that measure of truth.
And that is the masculine or the animus maturing. Okay. So basically, what he's saying here is that as a baby, as a young man, or as a child, okay, you even though you're equipped to have intelligence or logic, okay, you have to be introduced to it, and that is your adult animus guiding you. Because even though um, you're already wired for it, right? Which is like 90%, 80%, 90% masculine, right? You're 80% logic. The thing is, it has to mature, just like your anima has to mature. And it's the same thing with women, it has to mature. So basically, uh, he's saying in this one that that Morpheus is his mature animus, and only a mature animus can introduce you to your anima. That's what he's getting ready to say.
Emotion in and of itself is not going to take you to the door of your inner feminine. Emotion is not going to bring you to the anima. It's logic or Morpheus that takes Neo to the doorway. Now, when I say that logic is closer to emotional intelligence, I don't mean that logic acts closely to emotional intelligence more than emotion. What I mean is that it is the path right? Once truly embraced and once accepted, that will take you to the door. Emotional intelligence and logic are two different things, but also emotion and emotional intelligence are two different things. And a lot of women attribute emotional intelligence to themselves, but they're really only governed by emotion. The door.
Facts, because emotional intelligence is the mature animus and anima acting together. Okay, that's what a lot of women don't realize. Okay, you have to have both, and the maturing of both sides is when you get emotional intelligence. Okay, emotional labor can be formed by by simply regurgitating what you've learned. A lot of women learn cues and they regurgitate, but they don't know why. They don't know why something happens or why somebody feels that way. They just know somebody's feeling that way. X equals Y. So they have a sad look on their face. So I've been taught to perform certain things, but I don't understand the underlying reason. Okay. Whereas the boy, the logic is always why. So, but the thing is, they haven't connected to the emotion and connected to the feeling. So they have to learn that. They have to learn what women already have naturally, and vice versa. That's what he's saying.
Doorway for a woman to get to emotional intelligence is logic also. Because what logic does is it brings you to that place that in Doctor Strange, where the Sorcerer Supreme introduced Doctor Strange to himself, his true self, his astral self, for the first time. So in Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme represented his emotional intelligence. But it was logic that brought him to Karmitage, because he had to travel and search and ask and look to find a place even after he traveled with what little resources he had left to even get there. Now, once he became the best version of himself, right, he didn't need no fucking plane ticket to get back home, because he became a god. But but I believe that logic is closest to emotional intelligence, not in terms of its activity, but in the acceptance of certain truths. It was Dr. Strange's logic that got him to the door of Kamatage. And I believe that to a degree, without him knowing it, he knew. His higher self was communicating to him. It was what drove him to find Kamatage. All of the steps that he took, which ended up bringing him to that door. Now, emotional intelligence is on the other side of that door. So I'm not saying that they're the same. But I am saying that one would have to accept certain truths. What was Dr. Strange true? That none of his skills could heal him past a certain point. When he got an injury that he could not heal, even though he was the master doctor, his journey brought him to a place where his ego and his skill set and his gifts, not even his logic could fix, but logic will get you to the doorway. And on that other side of that door is where you start the pathway to becoming the true hero. I don't believe that emotion will take you to that door. I believe that emotion in men and women, although they are expressed differently, it's not going to bring you to the reality that there's something else, or that there must be something else to this. I believe that emotion coupled with the ego is what keeps you in that vicious cycle. But logic is not emotional intelligence. No way. But I believe that logic, like Morpheus took Neo to see the oracle. He did not open the door. He said, I can only show it to you. You're the one that has to open it. It's the hero that has to decide to take the blue or red pill. But
Only you can open it because the door is inside of you. Okay, nobody can open that door except you. Like your animus can only lead you to the door, or your guide can only lead you to the door. But you have to decide to open it, because it's the hidden place. If you notice that, uh, where they are, it's a dark scene, because it's a hidden place.
you know, something brings him to that seat or to that doorway. Now, I heard that the third eye in certain cultures is actually called the doorway, where some say the third eye. But the gist of it is that I believe that logic is what helps you to see that there's got to be something else or that there's something more. I don't believe that emotion will get you to the doorway of emotional intelligence.
Hey, bruh, finally the truth. Do I have to kick you out of here? Do I have to kick you out of here? If you don't like what's being said, then you need to go someplace else. You don't have the right to spam up my chat. Okay? You have a right to spam up my chat. If you don't like the titles there, if you don't like it, go someplace else. Man, YouTube is a big place.
And I think that's why it's harder for women to get to the doorway of emotional intelligence, because in the middle of the forest, they can't see the forest from the trees because they're in the middle of emotion. They can't make out one thing from another, but logic will help you to differentiate one's experiences on the path from something that could take them to a higher plane. I'm not saying again that logic is closest to emotional intelligence by activity, but I am saying that, like Morpheus would represent the logic of Neo. The oracle would represent the emotional intelligence of Neo. And Neo, of course, will represent the individual on his hero's journey. Once one taps into his inner his emotional intelligence, that's when you become the one. When you learn how to submit and listen to and be guided from that plane. But I believe that logic will get you to the door. It does not open the door, because those are two different things. Emotional intelligence, I believe logic and emotion are different hemispheres. And when you talk about emotional intelligence, that it actually exists on another dimension.
It's actually the combination of both. Okay, which will take you to a higher plane, which is, they call it nirvana, which is true wisdom, is the combination of both of them. That's why they call it emotional intelligence, even though feminists actually use it wrong. But the thing is, they try to copy
Intelligence, the red
they try to copy what Jung said.
beings. I think that the reality of things, the red pill of things, is what'll get you to the black pill quicker than the blue pill ever would get you. And that's what I mean, that logic is closest to emotional intelligence. The red pill is closer to the black pill than the blue pill is.
Yeah, it is. And one day we'll go over that.
What are your thoughts?
Okay. That is Pimp God talking about emotional intelligence. And it is a union. It's actually where they get emotional intelligence from is actually from Jung. Okay, from Carl Jung, and the diagram of the yin and the yang. And the reason they use it, even though it's actually used in a business sense, the feminists have tried to weigh it in as to say they have something that men don't, or they're superior to men because they do have it. And both men and women do have emotional intelligence. The women expect it to be expressed the same way they express it, the way they're trained to express it. And then, but the thing is that why? How come with athletes? How come most of the coaches are men? And how do they inspire men? Or how do um, military leaders inspire men? They have to have emotional intelligence and know how the feel and the emotions, fear and the excitement and bravery of their men. How do you inspire men? Motivational speakers, how do they inspire men? They have to be emotionally intelligent. They have to be able to read the room. Okay, your artists, you know, have to be able to read the room. Okay, to inspire people, they have to be in tune with it. And sometimes some of the artists go overboard because I've seen artists go overboard where they get too much in touch with their feminine side and they go the other way because they get overwhelmed by it without being able to balance it. But it takes both sides. That's come most of your great artists are males. Okay, women can perform it, men can understand it, break it down, and express it. That's why Pimp God is one of the people who can actually explain it because he's somebody that does it naturally. And he had within himself, he had to go find out how to understand it, and once he understood it, to exploit it, because pimps exploit emotional intelligence on the females. That's how they get the females to get out on the track and sell their bodies for them. Okay, same thing with a manager that uh, that actually manages call girls. Same thing. Okay, you got to be able to manage the females. You have to be able to feel them and understand them, and put logic in their brain so they can, because you're helping control their emotions. Most women don't know how to control their emotions. So come they need a man. Most women are out of control without a man because their internal emotions overwhelm them and they can't see it. But let's get to this. Let's see where we at. Where are we? Let's open that. And we're going to share screen real quick. Let's boost this up a little bit. Here we go. And we're going to share screen. And where we at? I'm going to share this. All right. All right. This is Jungian. This is Jung's um, diagram of the self, right? I think you've seen this before. Uh, Anybody that's taken any of my astrology courses or anything like that has seen this before, right? This is your inner world, right? This is the self, the inner world, right? Everybody knows the persona is your mask, which is to the outer world. Your ego is your logic brain, right? It's your logic brain. Your logic brain is your ego. Okay, that is what you have access to. Okay. Okay. The self is divided between the light or the sun, which is the ego, and the persona, which is that we have access to and project to the outer world. And you have what they call the shadow, the inner world. Your shadow is like 90%. All your feelings, all the hidden stuff, all the stuff that you've learned that you obviously don't have access to all the time. Okay, that has to come through the self, which is the little closet. and then ego can access that through the self, right? Where does your animus round? Okay, these are patterns. Okay, these are logic patterns. This is how your brain is wired. Is through your anima and your animus down here. Okay, and depending on which one you are, okay, you're going to be male or female, right? If you're always the opposite, and this is something Jung says. You're always the opposite. Internally, you're the opposite. Okay, your internal world and your shadow is always the opposite. So if you are male, your shadow is your anima. Okay, if you're female, your shadow will be your animus, and it's going to have what the other one does. And whatever you're lacking, as far as logic or emotions, okay, the opposite will be contained. So this yourself, okay, which is Morpheus, is your door. You have to be led to it. You got to go to that door to access one or the other. It depends on who you are. Um, if you're female, you'll be trying to access your logic brain or the logic pattern to control your inner world. If you're a male, you'll be accessing your anima. So this is what we're talking about. Since we're men, this is what we're going to talk about. We're actually concentrating on the anima, right? Which is and the two parts actually equal what they call the emotional intelligence. The balance between the two is emotional intelligence. So if we can go next, let's go this one. Okay, everybody's seen this one before, right? You've seen this before. This is yin and yang, right? Okay, your sun and your moon, right? Okay, your sun is your ego. Okay, in astrology, your moon is your dark side. Okay, your moon is always what, female, and your sun is always male. But the thing is, there's a little bit of the other in one, right? So, female is 80% emotions. That's how she responds first. Okay, that's like pimp can access that if they understand. If you can understand your anima, then basically you can translate this. Okay, the emotional side. This is how women actually are connected to it and respond to it because they're wired for it, right? Even though they can't control it. Okay, your masculine side, the white side, your masculine side, your sun is the control center. But see, there's a little bit of each inside the other. That's what the yin and yang represents, right? So for males, okay, this is your masculine brain, and this is your anima, the little 10-20% that's inside your male brain. This is your female brain inside your male brain, the female pattern. So that's like when we say feel, okay, you're accessing this. Okay, you actually say feel, you're accessing your dark side or the dark sun. If I say think, especially for a female, you're accessing the 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 uh, the white moon or the logic moon inside you. So that's just a representation. And your job is, your job to be enlightened, be emotionally intelligent, is to grow that. Is to grow that so that instead of you being this, okay, which is half of what you are, okay, you become this. Okay, the master is this is encompassing both sides equally. And so for a woman, she's born this, half of what she is, right? With this little bit of that, okay? But her balance is to encompass this side, her logic side, so that she becomes the whole. And this is what Jung calls individuation, okay? It's what Jung calls individuation, anima and animus, right? In other words, if you're male, you have a female inside, and if you're a female, you have a male inside. That's what he calls individuation. And when you individuate the stuff, you actually separate the two, then you can actually look at it. But basically, unless you can separate that out, you can't look at it. So you have to go internally, separate this out, understand it, grow it, and that's where you get your other half. That's where you get your mastery, when you get both sides of who you are. and there's lots of ways to do it. I've done it. Okay, it's a process, you know, and I had to do it almost alone because I didn't have a guide. And once I learned it, I taught other men to do it, how to access it. And it's different for women than it is for men. Um, with men, how you access your dark side or your anima is basically through your dreams. That's number one. Okay. Number one is through your dreams first, because that's when she'll actually speak to you. And then after that, how you access it. And once you find her voice and she speaks to you, you can actually hear her because she always speaks to you. Okay. Same thing with a female. Okay. The animus always speaks to her. Like, girl, don't do that shit. Or girl, go this way. Or girl, do that. I said, that's the father inside telling her that's wrong. Control that shit. Shut your mouth, right? For a female, for a man, it's like she'll tap you on the shoulder. Hey, look, I feel we should go that way. Or I feel that this woman likes you. Or I feel that this woman's angry at you. Or I feel that something's getting ready to happen because your anima has access to the external world, right? Because it's connected. The dark is connected to everything. How you connect to everything in the universe is through your anima. So basically, she takes in. The thing is, she's a female. She takes instructions from you. Okay, the animus gives instructions. The anima takes instructions. So since you're a male, you have your logic brain has to give that female instructions. You have to teach her. What do you want? What do you like? What do you feel? What's good for you? And what do you want me to go for? How can I serve you? In other words, is Pimp God, he didn't say it in this one. Your anima is your bottom bitch. Your anima is there to serve you. Your anima, if you need a female, you need sex, you need a girlfriend, it's your anima's job to actually go out and find her. Okay, go out and find her. It actually lead you to her, and sometimes your anima will lead her back to you. But you have to be, but your conscious mind, your logic mind has to be clear. Number one, on what you want, and clear on the instructions that you give her. Because what does a pimp do? What does a pimp do to a woman? A pimp gives her instructions on how to act, how to be, and what to do. And his reward is what she brings back. Right? She brings back the money. She brings back prospects. She brings back all kinds of stuff because she's out there on the street going out to get it. Okay. And your animal's the same way. She's on the street. She's out there in the world trying to bring things back for you. But the thing is, you have to give her instructions. You have to know how to talk to her. You have to be clear about what you want her to bring her back. Because if you're not clear in it yourself, give her muddy instructions, you're gonna get fucked up results. In the business world, in the military, if you're in a war, okay, if you're in touch with your animal, she'll lead you in the right direction. Most people, most men have been in danger depending on their animal because she can see shit that you can't. In fact, there was one example that a military guy said that they were in Serbia during a war zone, right? And him and his troop were actually huddled up in a house, and his animal told him to get the fuck out of this house because the tanks are coming. They're gonna blow this house. So his men trusted him. He said, "Hey, we got to get out of here. I got my gut says, or my animal says, we got to get out of here." So they got out of the house and they went down the block to another house. And sure enough, a mortar hit that house where they're at, blew it to pieces. And then they were in that house for like an hour or two, and they were watching what was going on down the road. And then his animal told him, "Hey, go down to the basement." So he went down to the basement. He saw a window, a upper window where they could crawl out the backside without being detected. And she said, "You need to get out of here and go through that." So he went to his men and said, "Hey, there's a way out of here. I don't feel this house is safe. We got to get the heck up out of here." So they went down to the basement, crawled up to the window, and they were gone. Within 10 minutes, uh, a tank came in and blew the house because he listened to his animal and trusted her. He was in contact with her and trusted her. She could feel, she could sense that something was going to happen. So she communicated it to him through his gut feeling. which is emotions, right? Your feelings or emotions. Because that's how your anima will normally contact you, right? Until you get onto a level where she'll actually speak to you. But she has to be mature to actually do that. And that's what he's talking about. That's the maturing process. But that's the door. Okay. Before, she's always there and she's always guiding you through feeling, right? But she can't talk to you till you go through that door, till you go through that maturing process. And that's where your guide or your logic has to guide you to the door. And that's what the pimp God's saying. What pimp is telling you, okay, he's describing his process, right? His process to getting in touch with his anima, even though he's connected to it, to for him understanding his anima and maturing his anima, to his anima can actually do work for him. He's telling you this is his process. Your logic brain, your guide, which is your logic mind, will actually get you to the door. But you have to go through it. And once you go through it, then you and your animal has to have a discussion. Like if you go back to the Matrix, right? Once he went through the door and got in contact with her, she knew who he was. She could tell him, but he couldn't understand. They couldn't really talk to each other. They like talk to each other in riddles. But until he could actually mature his relationship with her, he couldn't understand her. But also he had to mature himself. As a man, he had to mature himself to actually access her. So by the time he got toward the end to be the savior of the Matrix, he understood her. He not only understood her, he actually could see what she couldn't, because he had both sides. He had the logic brain, which the architect, which is pure logic without emotion, and the intuitive side, or the feeling side, which is the which was the oracle. And he is the product of both. He was That's why come Neo could become the master of the Matrix, because he had both sides. Once he got in touch with both sides, the logic and the feminine and the animus came together, he became the master of the Matrix. That's how come the architect had to have him back, because he was a combination of the two. He was the savior of the Matrix. He became God level, not only in the inner world, which is the Matrix, the digital world, but also the outer world. Remember, he could actually bring down the Sentinels, with thoughts, because he had control of the outer world. Anyhow, we're about 40 minutes in. I am going to DC. I talked about this. I've been talking about this, man, for about 8 years. In fact, I talked about this on my female. I talked about the anima. Actually, my animus goes back to 2014. Actually, did it on my MGTOW channel. I converted over here. Actually, taught it on my female channel. Now, if they're superior to me, good luck. I don't think they are. But I am going to drop the link if you guys want to come up and chat about it. I'm a Gnostic. They are not. So I don't know what they said, or what they said. I've been teaching this for years. I've taught females. Okay, and them get in touch with their animus, which is a different project. In fact, I'm hearing the white manosphere, okay, using a lot of. In fact, I heard a female use my talking points about thinking and feeling. In fact, I might do that. I might, if I can find it again, I'll actually put that in as a standalone, video, where she actually talks about thinking versus feeling, which is something I learned from not only from being a Gnostic, but also from Carolyn Mace about invoking. And if you go back and you listen to any of my Coliseum, okay, when it was all men, we came up there. The first word that had to go out of our lexicon was feel. There ain't no feeling here. You can't feel on my string. We're all males. We all think. I want logic. I don't want feeling, because we have been feminized by the culture, okay, and we have been feminized to use the word feel. which means emotion, which means scattered, means non-thinking, okay, or not, non-logic, and I wanted logic.
Hey, what's going on, BGS?
What's up, AB?
Yeah,
So you can mention the Black Brain Trust, but trust and believe, man. If it's last year, our AB can tell you I've been talking about this, man, since I came on the, came into the on
yeah,
the
you
YouTube.
have.
So I don't know what you guys are talking about. Now, if their shit
How
is
much?
superior to mine, go ahead. If their
How,
stuff is superior, but I know they learned it from me because I taught them that when they came over here. Okay, I taught them that. Where you think the fuck they got it from? Okay, go
how
ahead.
much is it? How much is that class again?
What class? Oh, the astrology class
Yeah.
on Patreon is 20 a month. In fact, I got to do
Okay.
a lesson today. I got the. Well, you can email me, man. I got the. Since we've been knowing each other for a long time, I got the. I'm using my teacher's book that I got in the '90s. He
Okay.
taught the astrology class, so I'm going through that. In fact, there's a lot of stuff I got to go through. I got to go back. We're reviewing the Saturn cycle again. Okay, I've done the Saturn cycle, but things I'm gonna go through it. His version of the Saturn cycle, and then after that, we're gonna get into uh, uh, people don't know that the personality test that they give you. Okay, that is Jung, and that is based on astrology. Most people don't know that.
Really?
Yes, the
Okay.
IMFJ shit like that. Okay, that's based on Jung's astrology, and it was two females that actually used Jung's astrology, actually put it in words to where it can into a test. Okay, it was actually two females in the, I think there were, is it in the 20s or the 30s, where they actually came up with it. Two females. But I'll actually, after this one, after the next lesson, which is going to be the Saturn cycle, finish of the Saturn cycle, I'm actually going to get into the personality test that is derived from astrology.
Oh,
Okay,
interesting.
interesting.
But, yeah, I'm starting to talk to my animus a little bit more. Like, shut up. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah, actually, yeah, we talked about actually the we talked about the Matrix with Sister Sophia back in the '90s of the first Matrix because she came on with my buddy, you know, and he interviewed her about Sister Sophia in the Matrix, so and what it represented. So we've been discussing that for years.
Yeah, that would actually explain my dreams I've been having recently about my late mother and grandmother.
Yeah, that's your
That's
it's your
like
and do you write them down?
not necessarily, but I think I need to.
Write them down. Write them down. And also, when you before you go to sleep, ask for something. Uh, uh, ask what does that mean. And normally, your anima will actually give you a second dream to um, um, actually explain it.
Okay.
Yeah, your anima will actually explain it. Yeah, yeah. Me and the BBT don't get along, man.
Oh
So
well, yeah, I'll leave them alone.
no, no, no.
Leave
It's
that
nothing.
alone.
It's nothing. But yeah, we have parted ways. If you get into the zodiac, have you and your grandsons watched Avatar: The Last Airbender? I have not watched it with him. I'm sure he's watched it, but I have not watched it with him.
Is that M Night Shyamalan's movie?
No, no, the Avatar: Last Airbender.
Oh
It's
yeah.
actually
Oh
it was
okay.
actually remember it was actually a
Oh, cartoon. That's right. It's cartoon first.
animated series first, yeah, and it does talk about the four symbols, but it doesn't get into the personalities as much, but it does explain some of it. When I saw it, I understood it about the personalities between the four the four symbols, the four groups. What does it mean if you do to freak? What does it mean if you do to freak BGS? I don't know what that means.
Okay. I can't
Dream.
translate
What
that
is it
either.
if you? Okay, I still don't know what that means, Richard Darling. paradox me did a similar arrangement. What I am saying to you is that we are here to inform. You know me before this YouTube stuff back in the cows. I do, but a lot of people go into it. But a lot, very few people are actually going to go into depth the way I go into it. Okay, I don't think I've. If you've done it, I would love to see it, but I don't think anybody goes into the same depth that I do, because my teacher went into depths about this. So a lot of stuff that I saw in the Matrix, okay, even my teacher when he saw it in Matrix, we went into depth about the blue and the red pill, about Trinity and him and her, and basically the Trinity. Trinity was the female, right? You have the first iteration, which is the lower third. If you look at the tree of life, Trinity. Neo is always the offspring, right? So you have his first parents are Trinity and Morpheus, right? At the lower level, that's his the Trinity on the lower level, right? But the Trinity on the higher level is is the Oracle,
An architect.
the architect, and Neo, okay, which is the higher level. If you look at the tree of life, the Kabbalah tree of life, you can look at the lowers and the upper, okay, because he had to cross that bridge. He had to go through the door of light and cross that bridge from the lower to the upper. So basically, the lower five, below the fifth level, right? You get you get the lower Trinity, which is Morpheus and Trinity and Mr. Anderson, or basically before he becomes really Neo, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then but that's the lower, that's the introduction, that's the base level. But when you pass that bridge, then you get into the upper levels. If you get into the Alice Bailey's The 12 Labors of Hercules, she actually talks about the lower
That's
to the
why it was
upper.
on the top level.
Yeah, yeah.
That makes
But I
sense.
don't, but I know nobody's going to tell you that. You do not dream. Sorry, everybody dreams, man. You just not
Oh
haven't
yeah,
tapped into it.
everybody dreams. You just
Everybody dreams. You haven't tapped into. You go mad if you didn't dream. I think you have to tap into it.
I actually talk to people that lost their mother because I'm like, are you dreaming about her? And they usually say yes, and I'm like, that's good. It's a
Yeah.
good sign because
Yeah, it's years ago. A woman told me to keep a journal and pen in my bed to use it, their dreams as soon as I wake up. That's what Jung tells you. In any dream, good dream psychologists, they can actually get through your problems much quicker if you keep a dream journal and they understand dreams. Okay, and I've heard that Dr. David Viscott, who's very good at it, had an expert at cutting through that stuff. He said keep a dream journal because that's your internal world.
I did not know that.
Yeah, but we'll get into that another time.
Okay.
But any questions you guys want to get, go ahead and shoot, man, because we got
Yeah, don't let me
and
stop you.
no, they can jump in. But the thing is that I understand people go over stuff, man. But the thing is that I've gone over this before. Okay, I could have pulled my own stuff where I should talk about the animus anima and the divide and hero's journey, all that kind of stuff. I did that back in 2014 on my MGTOW channel.
And
But
then
this is nothing that I haven't gone over years before because I've been taught. I was taught by this by a master. Okay, by a master that taught that I learned individuation and this kind of stuff basically back in '96 when he first taught it to me, and I got scolded about it. You know how you get wrapped on upside the head verbally. Yeah.
yeah,
So
I
I've been
don't
doing this a long time.
I don't mean to disrespect, man, but I didn't know that you were this versatile, man. I got your Patreon a couple of days ago, and I've been freaking binge watching it. I know you've seen some of my comments in it, man, but I really
Oh yeah, yeah.
appreciate the work that you're doing, man. I know I'm over here spamming your comments, and like, bro, this is so deep. Thank you for covering this and shit. You know what I mean? Because it's finally relieving to hear and see somebody talk about something more than just pussy and dick game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Excuse my French.
the thing is that when I first came over here, I wanted to be more esoteric. I didn't want to come over and talk basic. But thing is that if you're in a space and I'm sure you've been a teacher or to teach people, right? Say even if
Hmm.
it's athletics, something like that. I say you can't teach them. You can't teach them a pull up jump shot from the 3-point line if they don't know how to make a layup or dribble. Got to start where
Yeah.
they are.
Facts. Yeah, that's
So I had
true.
to, had to start where people are. Okay. So, and it, and even my sub said, it's like pulling teeth, trying to pull them along. So
Hmm.
I'll drop some stuff, and then sometimes they'll get it, sometimes they won't. And basically, esoteric knowledge is not meant for everybody anyway. That's what my teacher said. Maybe 10%, maybe
So
ten
the
percent. Go
so
ahead.
the question I had was, man, a quick side note. I found Pimp God through you, and I love how you guys reference each other. You know what I mean? So
Uh huh.
I know he covers a specific type of game, and you do too, and it's like a good mesh up to go back and forth throughout the day as I'm driving. I just learned a lot. But the question I have is, for the past couple of months, I've been studying the shadow side of myself, right? And
Okay.
and the guy who made the Art of War, he has a book about it and a couple interviews about your shadow side. When you
Yes.
pulled up that
The diagram.
diaphragm
The
diagram, right?
diagram. Uh-huh.
Was that the shadow side? That are you guys talking about the same thing?
The shadow is the shadow is the unknown part of you. Okay. The
Okay.
diagram is basically how things relate. That's a relational diagram. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
physical diagram. There's another. I don't think I have it. I don't think I have it in the folder, my pictures folder
So it's two
anymore.
different things because I know he talks about people wanting to shame the dark side of you of like, I guess, not turn the other cheek, but to defend yourself. That's kind of how
Uh,
he talks about. Go ahead.
uh,
Sorry.
your shadow. I mean, basically, to be in a civilized society, there's a lot of things you have to repress. So, um,
Hmm.
like how you defend yourself, your violence, all that kind of stuff that does exist in your shadow. But that's not the only thing that exists in your shadow. But the thing is,
Okay.
to be living a large civilized society, you have to repress a lot of emotions or a lot of
Right.
reactions, and one of those is violence. Okay, can't go
Okay.
around, reacting to anything emotional with violence. Okay, because you're going to get that 100 times a day. We kill each other, so that's
Okay.
repressed. Okay, and how you control that and measure that to where you can actually defend yourself verbally and physically. Okay, that's a learned behavior, and
Okay.
you have to understand not only your society but also yourself. Okay,
Okay.
and the people that
Last
can't control it, where do they wind up?
in jail
In jail,
or
because they
dead.
can't
Yeah.
control it. Yeah.
And last question I have before I go, I got to
Okay.
put my truck in the shop. How important is being stoic with a woman? Do you put on the Richter scale between 1 and 10? How important is having stoicism?
I
If I'm
would
saying the word
say
right.
I say stoicism,
Yeah, stoicism. Okay.
controlled stoicism, especially for this age. Okay, controlled
Hmm.
stoicism is, I would say, maybe, I say maybe 20%. Okay.
20%. Okay, it's 2 out of 10.
Okay,
Okay.
especially if you have children, maybe 20%. That's the stoicism is your control point. In other words, there's a level that you have to be stoic about. Okay, women say you should cry in front of them. It's bullshit,
Hmm.
because if you can cry in front of your women and your children, they think the world's going to end. And I've done that
Yeah.
before, right? And all of
Yep.
a sudden, everybody gets upset because you're not supposed to be the one that cries. You're the control. You're the I said you're the control center. Okay,
Hmm.
you actually set up the boundaries, right? Uh, Basically, you set up discipline. Okay, so
Okay.
you crying, especially evoking emotion like that, right? In front of your women folks, basically, that's the breakdown of control. That's the breakdown of discipline. Okay, so
Okay.
if you do it, you can only do it in certain circumstances. You can't be like that. So because they depend on you to have a certain kind of cool, calm, and collected, because you're supposed to be using logic, because they're all over the place. They're freaking out, all that kind of stuff, and you got to be the one to say, hey, sit your ass down, okay,
Yeah.
Yep.
and we're
I
Calm
gonna do
down.
appreciate
this.
it, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. And I do
All
more
right.
deep dive on your Patreon, man. Thank you for the knowledge, man.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cool.
Bye bye.
What's going on,
If a
officer?
woodchuck could chuck, how much would he woodchuck? Would he chuck? What's up, Charles? You there? Okay.
Woo,
All right.
nigga.
There he is.
There he is.
Give me a second and I'll speak about violence and
Mm-hmm.
behavioral intelligence, which I'm not an expert. I went to school for it, in Colorado. But give me one.
Hell,
Is Jungian theory concurrent with Sephora and Sufi? Yeah, yeah, it's Gnostic teaching. It's all the same. Okay, it's all the same all over the world. You have a yin and yang symbol someplace in in your teaching. All they all do. Okay, Islam is an outgrowth of Judaism, and that's is an outgrowth of um God, what is it? Kabbalah, outgrowth of the Kabbalah. Okay, it's the same
Kabbalah. I gotta
thing.
look
It's
that
there.
up.
Yeah.
ABGS.
Hey, Smitty, what's going on?
Hey,
Nothing much. ABA Charles. How y'all doing today? I was just gonna say the animus and anima. The first time I actually really seen this, it was actually in cartoons or just like kids show growing up that
Hmm.
like for preteens. But I
Hmm.
remember one show was called Kirby Right Back at You. It was like an animated show. They actually did this episode where this monster he had two scythes. He had a crescent moon scythe and he had a sun scythe. And
Yeah.
whatever he hit you with, you would turn into that woman. So he hit you with the moon.
Mm.
And I remember in the middle of the episode, they always say everybody has a little bit of the opposite sex in
Yeah.
them and
Yeah.
everything. And
That's
that's
when you're young.
yeah, it was a kid show, but they broke it down, and they also talk about your shadow side.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the writers. You can see how young affected them a lot of
Yeah.
times. So
Yeah.
I think people are familiar with it. They just don't realize they've seen it.
Because it hasn't been explained, and that's
Yeah,
the Gnosticism. You can show it, people get it because you show a symbol, they get the idea of it. But the thing is, it has to be explained.
yeah, yeah. But that's why when you start going into the animus and anima, I'm like, this sounds familiar. Like I heard of
It
this
is
before.
familiar. It
Yeah.
is familiar. You've probably seen it many, many times. Okay, and
Hmm.
it's in different variations of it. The thing is the thing is, do they break it down and explain it? Even down,
hmm
well, we get into it. Actually, probably have to go back over even the last Matrix was actually mostly bullshit. But the thing is, they actually pulled together the yin and the yang
Hmm.
to actually rule the Matrix. So but that's a different story.
hmm.
If you understand the symbols, you get it. Like when I saw it, I got it. Like when he entered the door of light and he saw the architect, you got it. Okay, now we get it. As soon as I saw the architect, I said, now okay, now I know what it is. Okay. In fact, the architect says, if I am the father, then
She's his mother.
she's will be the matrix's mother. Okay. In other words, he has an intuitive, she has an intuitive side that I don't have. Okay. But you have to have both of them together. That's like when he left. I might one day I might have to do it because copyright probably have to do it on
Patreon.
Patreon.
Behind the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because and explain it and go through it because most people don't go through it. In fact, I've never seen anybody describe it that way. And I've actually argued with some black pill folks about the different pills according to the Matrix, and they get the red and the blue, but they don't get the black. So
Yeah.
we'll have to go through it. And I know nobody's gone through it because I've never heard of anybody talk about it that way. So I've never heard, not in public. So
Yeah. I didn't even know what the black pill was till I got came to your channel.
uh, well, the incels, incels found it and they introduced it, right? But thing is, when I read it, when I went back and researched it, it had nothing to do with how the guy was talking about it. Even though the black pill is the original pill. If you go back to um what is it, Alice in Wonderland, right? The black pill is the opium pill. It was
Mm.
literally a black pressed opium in a pill. That was the original pill before the red and the blue. The original pill in psychology was the black pill, was the opium.
Okay.
But we'll have to do that in different at a different time. Okay, this is just I just wanted to go over it because I wanted to review it because about emotional intelligence and it does lead to the pills because leads to the psyche, and
hmm
anybody that talks about this that doesn't talk about the psyche, about about the animus and doesn't relate it to Jung, which is where it came from, then you know you know they said the Black Brain Trust went over this. It's like, man, I've gone over this so many times. It's ridiculous. In fact, you can, I might go back and reboot some of my older ones. Back from 2014, 2015,
Mm-hmm.
about I did a whole series with it. In fact, I think it still is my esoteric series. If people want to look it up, about about the animus, the hero's journey, the control center, and all that, and the what they call it. They call it esoteric marriage, where internally you marry the male and the female, or the animus actually marry each other and become equals. Okay, become a unit,
Mm-hmm.
and that is part of the hero's journey. Why do so many women choose psychology as a major in their major? Because it's easy.
Pretty much.
Guess why? Because it's
I, I
easy.
I started to realize that.
And see, what do you know about Odumer, the Orishas, and our ancestors? How do they correlate? Okay, the Orishas I know a little bit about, but I don't know all of them. Um, but all this stuff springs from the same source. All this stuff actually springs from Egypt. All this stuff springs that way, and it all relates.
Also,
It all relates back to the original Trinity, which is the Noon, Ptah, and Atum. They even in physics they still use it. Okay, they still use the pattern.
also, that's why they call the Egyptians aliens. Okay,
Yeah, they just call them
I,
aliens
I
or
know because they're
yeah,
black, but I
yeah,
know.
yeah. But why do you think they call it the God particle, right? Because that is Ptah and Atum or Atum and Atum it actually generates the other seven. Okay, so they call Ptah who actually turns into Atum and actually uh, um, generates the other seven particles. Okay, that's how come they call it the God particle.
Mm.
Even even if they even in a black hole, right? If you look at a black hole, uh, how they generate the black hole, okay, it looks like two barbells put together, okay, and a center in it, and which is why uh, what is it what do they call that computer, quantum computer, right? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
instead of one on and off switch, it has eight because it
Damn.
has instead of having the on and off particle in the middle of the one barbell, it's
Mm-hmm.
got it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work with the one particle in the middle. It works with the outside, which is the 3D model, which is the two. You ever see the jacks? Okay, with the looks like barbells. Okay, in other
Mm-hmm.
words, it's got 6 to 8 switches instead of one. So it works faster and more complete
That's a lot
because
of math. Hell,
it's
damn.
because it's crunching more bits.
Because
It's
you
working
just
with
have
more bits.
input and output. Yeah.
Yeah, which is how your brain works. Your brain doesn't work with ones and zeros. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
in the same way,
Binary. Yeah.
but it doesn't
But
work.
doesn't work for
Your
the.
brain is not binary. It can convert it into binary, but it's not binary. Didn't they discover the God particle? Yes, they did. Go look it up. Go look at the God particle and the other particles that it generates. I heard that animals. I heard that the animals that Egyptian use symbols all originate from North America. Nope, it does not. I don't know where you heard that one, but it does not.
Mm,
The eagle does not originate from America, and the eagle that's in Africa does not look like the one here. And the first eagle was not an eagle. The first eagle was a hawk. Okay, and before that it was a vulture. It's a very good book called the Evolution and Origin of Religion by Albert Churchward. Okay, these symbols evolve, and guess what birds do? They fly. Okay, they migrate just like everything else. The emotional intelligence is the most popular word. I'm trying to get Dr. That's why Dr. T is going to write the book Emotional Labor and explain emotional intelligence that's performed by men. It's not performed the same way because you're coming at it from two different sides. Like a
Mm-hmm.
man is going to come at it from a different side than a woman is. A man's going to come at from logic to emotion. Women are actually going to come from emotion to logic. But the thing is, they're going to wind up in the same place. Your emotional intelligence is the combination of the animus and anima coming together to actually decipher what's in front of you. That's how come when I teach men and women actually talk to each other, I say, okay, she's using a different language. So in other words, if you're talking to a woman, okay, to any woman, and you're having a deep conversation, you always use feel first, and until she gets that out, and then you go into think. Unless it's something really necessary where you're speaking to her and she's got to get locked in into thinking because you have to solve a problem like right now. And she says, well, I feel. No, I don't want you to feel right now. I want you to think. You have to activate her animus, her masculine mind. But the thing is, when you have a personal conversation, you want to understand her, you go to feel first and let her get out her feelings, her emotions while she feels, and then you get into thinking. Okay. If you get to feel first and she feels better, and then or she feels that you understand her and you get into think, then she'll actually tell you what her problem is.
Mm.
And sometimes it takes a minute. Because sometimes, man, chicks have that shit all wound up. By the time you filter through it, you don't get through it until like 30 minutes later. And then getting into what the real problem is.
I got so good at it that I tell a bitch like, look, after a few minutes, like, look, nah, we gotta go logical.
Yeah. Okay, that's a bet, Dr. T. That means, well, you already wrote a book. Okay,
Oh, salute,
you write
Dr.
that
T.
book. Yeah.
But what was I saying that I was gonna explain about behavioral science? And goddamn you, BGS, I was gonna do a live at this time.
Hey, May, I can chastise you right now because you know what you did. I don't appreciate what you did to my boy, okay? Because you're supposed to be over here learning. I don't appreciate what you did to my boy, but the link is there. You can come on up and we can have a chat because I don't appreciate that. Okay, if we're over here teaching, I don't. If when I go to the women's side and Charles and everybody can tell you that I don't allow men to come over and spam my chat when I'm teaching
No, he
women.
doesn't.
If I'm teaching women, if you're gonna be on the women's side, Ed knows that, right? Ed doesn't come over there and fuck with us because he knows that I'm a strict rule. If I'm helping women, I'm helping women, okay? And you guys, and it's not about you. So if you have a feeling,
Ooh,
somebody's doing something in the background, okay. If you guys have a feeling about women, if you guys have an angst with women, my women's channel is not the place to actually bring it out. I have a man's channel for that, okay. So I don't appreciate when women come over here when I'm teaching men or men are teaching and start some shit, okay. Somebody got chips?
Somebody got chips. Oh yeah, BGS.
Yes, sir.
Salute.
Hey, what you drinking, man? What are we drinking?
It's a combination of XO brandy and Long Island iced tea.
Ooh, I never had that one. I got to try that.
My bad. That was my ice water. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay, that's all right.
It's actually pretty smooth.
God damn, what are you drinking out of, man? A gallon jug?
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn. All right,
Well, I'm
Jesus.
not drinking that. I'm not drinking
What
that
did you
damn
do?
much.
You just work out? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
Riding
get
bikes.
to you right in a minute, man. Go ahead, Smitty.
Yeah, just riding bikes and the air is bad out here because of forest
Okay.
fires. But
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah. There's a
it's
big
great.
forest fire in Canada, and it's been going everywhere. They had New York looking like a hellhole the other week.
It's not. Don't blame it on Canada. It's just some shitty ass Steelers. That's all.
Oh,
I see the Baltimore Orioles that finally embraced their true colors, the rainbow flag.
Oh shit! Here we go.
oh, damn.
Here we go.
That probably represents Baltimore.
Well, then again, you got to understand. The only reason you don't see rainbows in Pittsburgh because everybody's pissed in the fucking water. But anyway,
You know what, BGS?
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna get to May in a minute.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
go ahead.
I think the
All right.
Democrats are overplaying their hand with that rainbow flag because now even gay people are starting to complain about it.
You know what? You know what? And we discussed it. This has come from the ESG scores, right? Because they're trying to get a discount rate if their ESG score is a certain amount, right? So to get a discount rate on loans and in cash flows, right, from the bigger funds, or get a score from the bigger funds that's actually going to affect their bottom line, they got to put this rainbow shit in. Okay, so that's
Hmm.
what's happening. So they have to come to grips about how they're actually going to balance that out. Okay, they're actually going way overboard with the shit to get their score up. So that score has to be modified. So Dre talked about it, actually looked it up, and he said, "Well, why did they do this?" I said, "Because there's money tied to this, okay, and money and profits go to your bottom line. So and profits actually affect your stock price. So they're all trying to maneuver with this woke shit, trying to get that score down so they can get access to this capital. If that makes sense."
Oh boy.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's what's going on with it with all this woke shit. So, but Dre did bring it out. But thing is, if you're gonna complain about, I was telling Dre, if you're gonna complain about something, at least read about it and study it. So when you bring it, instead of going off about it, try to understand why they do shit. Okay, and if you understand why they do shit, you can actually modify this kind of stuff. But
Hmm.
Miss May, I want to get to you.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, now you were now you and Miss Sunkiss come over in the chat, but then on the other hand, you have a big angst against the manosphere. So tell me the dichotomy, okay? If you don't like us, why do you come over?
Well, I started out by just trying to understand what it is. It's, during the Kevin Samuels part, I discovered this whole world and it got deeper and deeper. And I just started seeing all these characters and stuff. And it just is whole underworld. And I'm just like, whoa. And I see all these different people in it. And I'm trying to understand why people are doing what they're doing. And then I realized it like affects the real world and it's not
It,
all
it,
healthy.
it is the real world, okay? It's not doesn't affect the real world. It is the real world. Basically, the thing is that we have a mask and we cover it up, but that's the real world. It is the real world. It's not people. The people are most honest when they're online.
Okay, I could see that. I could see that. But I feel like, and now that I'm listening.
Now we don't. It's the man side. We don't feel. We think.
Okay, I think I discovered something interesting about you today, based on
Mm-hmm.
what you were talking about, and I was picking it up last night when I was listening to you, and I'm just being straight honest. There's a tone that you have, and I'm a sound healer. There's this tone with you, and it's a tone that registers as a black god. It's a tone that registers as father. It's a tone that registers as healer. It's a tone that registers as occultist, meaning magician. And I picked up all of that, and then so
What
I'm
what
seeing your, huh?
what do you think Gnostic means, babe? It's in my name.
I don't know. I
You
actually
don't know.
don't know what a
You know
Gnostic is.
what Gnostic means? Gnostic means you don't know what Gnosis is. You're a healer.
And I don't know. I'm being honest. No, I don't know what gnosis
In other
is.
words, Gnosis is the original, comes from the Greek, and it means to know. At a deeper level, Black Gnosticism. If you look it up, if you're gonna know who I am, it's actually it's in the lexicon. You actually go to Google it. Okay, it's
Okay.
a blend between Egyptian wisdom. Okay, uh, what is it? Uh, uh, Basically, Gnostic Christianity and Kabbalism. Okay, a
Okay.
blend of those three. Okay.
Hmm.
So in other words, and basic Gnosticism is God in all religions, basically the base level of all religions. Okay,
Okay. Well,
so
I didn't look up any of those things in a
mm-hmm,
cerebral way. I'm just telling you what I actually felt intuitively.
mm-hmm,
That's what I got from you.
mm-hmm,
Just purely off of feeling. And
mm-hmm,
so, with that being said, I feel like I'm confirming that you are a healer naturally.
mm-hmm.
And I guess I'm not gonna guess. I would say that then my question becomes, why aren't you healing people? Because you have the tools,
Who says I'm not? What did I just do with these people?
but they're not getting free.
Yes,
That's
they
what I'm.
are. How do you know? In other words, do you get the email says a BGS? I use this to actually get my master's or my PhD or my doctorate. BGS. You actually freed me uh help me understand my girlfriend, my children. Okay, you help me understand my finances. Okay, Sauchi can tell you. Sauchi can tell you. Sauchi's gone to his bosses with stuff I've given him. Okay,
Mm,
you
okay.
know, so that his bosses can understand him and vice versa. Now they have a relationship, right? What do you call
One
healing?
100%. We talk
What
about
do you,
people who make over $1 million a year. It's not a game.
not a game. So what do you say? What do you say healing? What do you mean?
Well, I'm particularly. I mean, I'm thinking about all the energy around you because I'm thinking differently than I was yesterday because of the
Hmm.
conversation that you're having today about emotional intelligence and stuff like that.
Yeah, did you see
And
my video last week about emotional labor?
no, I didn't see that one. I'm still working on the octanes. I'm looking at the octanes. I think it's number two or three.
You know how old the octanes are?
Well, you just revived them, so that's what I'm looking at this time.
I have a whole play series. In fact, I think it was Medium Man said he actually discovered me through the Octanes and Insecure, the first season back in 2016.
Okay, since 2016. Well, I mean, I'm interested in information. I'll put it that way. I mean, so I do. You're right. I do look at what you have to say. Some of it I agree with. Some I disagree with. And like
Okay, well
knowledge,
let's
you will
just get to
always.
what you
Can I
disagree
ask a
with.
question?
No,
Well,
no,
BGS has a question that he was
no.
asking.
What do you
My fault.
disagree with?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's like the circle around you is what I'm saying is not
That
in
doesn't mean
line.
that doesn't mean anything to me. When you say circle, what do you mean? There's a lot of
Okay,
circles around me.
I'll be specific. Obsidian and the rhetoric and a
Uh,
lot of these hold on one second. A lot of these
mm,
incel type
what what
behaviors
what what
around the
what,
people
what is?
around you.
Do you know what incel is?
Well, I'm gonna say people. Let me just forget incel. I'm gonna
No, no,
say
no, 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 no. We ain't gonna skip over that. Okay, women do that all the time. We have to be specific. If you bring up a word, you got to define what your understanding of it. You know what an incel actually is.
okay. What I'm defining an incel as, and when I say it, is I mean men who are angry with women,
Nope,
and they're centering women and their failure with women
nope.
around a lot of emotion.
That's
That's
not
what
an
I'm.
incel. Incel is what you understand. What it has two words in it: involuntarily celibate, right?
I do know that.
Most incels are virgins. Because they have a physical deformity or psychological deformity. They cannot interact with women,
So when
no
you
matter
have
what
men
they
who
do.
fail with women, what do you call them then? What do
They
they
call
call?
they call blue pill MGTOWs. Men feel with women all the time.
No, no, no. I'm talking about there are just regular men, forget pills. There are regular men who do not do well with women of any color or race or culture. They just don't do well.
They're those are called MGTOWs. Okay, a lot of men because the relation between men and women have changed, okay, because of feminism, right? And
Oh,
white
really?
women and black women complain about this shit all the time, okay. In other words, um, the courting process that's been going on for 100,000 years, they've changed that stuff over the past 30 years. They've changed the courting process, and it's not only women, men that can't get along with women. Women can't get along with men either.
I've seen
Hmm.
that.
So it's both sides. The thing is, what's causing it? There's two things that cause it. Feminism, number one, and number two is the smartphone. Okay. Now,
I would say number two. I mean, the other part of it would be
mhm.
men who are not all in their and completely in their masculinity. You got a lot of
What does that
very
mean?
emotional.
How do you know? How do you know
Oh,
that?
I just met one. I mean,
Oh, no, no, no,
just
no, no, no. Wait,
completely
wait, wait, wait. No,
emotional
no.
meltdowns
I'm
and
asking you. How do you know what?
immaturity.
How do you know what masculinity is?
I know it instinctually. I know it as a
No, no,
woman.
no, 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 no,
I
no, no,
know
no,
it.
no, no, no. You're not a man. Well,
I know it as a
it's
woman.
like me saying about feminine, right? We can
Hmm.
kind of guess it, but things we don't know what it is.
I know it only as it relates to me being a
Well,
woman and feeling
uh,
it.
okay, what is masculine to you? How do you define it?
It's I would say it's a vibration.
No, 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 no,
It's
no, 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 no.
it is a
Define it.
vibration.
Vibrations coming off.
It's something I
And
actually
it
experience.
has
Masculinity is
now
experience.
it has to be something concrete. No, we don't know what a vibration is
I
when you see it.
experience
Not that
masculinity.
May give me a think. Get into your masculine brain. You're talking to men, okay, not to women,
Okay.
okay.
Hmm.
Okay, we need something concrete. When you say you experience it, what characteristics are masculine to you?
That's interesting because it's really difficult to pin it
And then,
down because
well,
it'll
then
be stereotypical what I say. You know what I
no,
mean?
and that's not stereotypical because that's
Because if I say strong, that's
May,
actually feminine too.
That's bullshit. Okay, you
Strong
hadn't
is
thought about
feminine.
it. No, you have. In other words, your your feminine, okay, is immature. It's immature. That's what we talk. That's why the door that he was talking about, emotional intelligence, he was talking about. Okay. You have the feeling side, okay, because you're wired for it. But the thing is, your intelligence, actually break it down and understand it, is missing. You're missing your animus.
So you're
You know?
saying because I can't put in words to you at this
Yes,
moment.
exactly. You can't translate.
Well, I'm probably being too cerebral about it.
No,
That's
no. You're
part.
not being cerebral at all. That's the problem.
Well, I can translate it for you. I didn't want to say stuff and then you could say, well, that's feminine too, because it is. To say someone is strong or has strength, to say someone is, to have stoicism,
What? Okay.
to
What
be
is
having
what is
natural
sto
balance.
what is
That's all
stoic?
feminine.
No, natural balance is a stoicism. They're all words, right? And number one, do we train? How do we train our boys and our men today? What do women? What do modern women say they want from a man?
Modern women say they want men to be strong,
No, they don't.
to provide.
No, they
Okay.
want them to. They want them to understand them. They want them to use their words. They want them to feel. They want to get in touch with their feminine side. They want them to get in touch with their feelings, right?
Yeah, and that's
That's what.
more feminine.
That's the way. That's the way the boys are taught in school, are they not?
That's true.
So,
Hey,
so
BB, asking.
in other words, guess what this society has done to boys. And guess what? Now the men are confused because you've trained them that this is what women want and how they want them to perform, how they want them to act. And guess what women don't want?
Don't want soft men.
Hold on.
Pseudo females.
Pseudo females. Okay. Are you reading me? Are you getting me?
No, I do. I do absolutely see what you're saying. I do.
So in other words, you're trying to, so now, not now, to actually throw that off, because this is the blue. That's what we call the blue pill, right? Now you understand the blue pill,
Yeah,
okay?
I do
The way you
understand
were trained. So now you know why when they come to the manosphere and the black manosphere, you hear something different, right?
that. Right.
And you because you were trained the exact same way about what to hear and how men should perform and how men should talk to you. When you come on this side, you don't like it because you're not used
No,
to it.
not really, because I have a father who's very much in line with what red pill would say masculinity is. My
Oh,
dad's a
okay.
military
In,
man,
in, in other
very
words,
very masculine military man, very
eh,
stoic and
in other
quiet,
words, do
that's
you
not
want a
always
man?
red. That's not always red pills, because I know a
focused.
lot of
No,
no. There's a lot of blue pill men in the military.
yes, they
Well,
are. In other
Most
words, here's the
most men
point.
in the military are blue pill. But go
well, I'm
ahead.
not
You
looking for
do you
no
think?
Now,
softness in
you
dudes. I'm
see,
not
And
looking.
and what you think is soft, okay. In other words, basically, what I'm trying to do, especially on this side, why I'm so harsh with black women, because a lot of you guys are freaking Klingons, okay. And what you guys think is soft and non-masculine, you attribute it to black men, right? The thing is, that's inside of you because you don't understand yourself.
here's the crazy part.
Mhm.
Do you know how many black women will tell me they want a man to do all this, but when I ask them, "Do you believe the black man is a leader of his home?" and they'll say, "Yeah," and I'll ask them this question: if he makes a decision, the final decision after you both talked about it, are you going to come back and try to uproot his authority to make
They
that
do it all the
decision?
time. They do it all the time.
So you don't believe in leaders. You just believe in figureheads for him to take the
and and
blame.
but basically, this is something that Diane Stewart and this Frazier and Du Bois talked about, even Clark talked about, even what's his name, William Julia Wilson actually talked about this, right? The performance of black females, okay. And this is, I've showed video after video after video about this, man. If it went back and their eyes are watching God, it was actually written in 1930, said the exact same thing, right? The performance of male and female in the black community is upside down, okay.
Yeah.
And the thing is that the thing is that everybody's looking at the black male and breaking him down to the atom, right? But black
Right.
females refuse to look at themselves, okay, and
But see, that's
adjust
the
themselves.
thing, BGS.
Hold
We gotta go
on,
back to the root.
hold on. Okay, what you're doing is performing Klingon behavior.
We
Okay,
all are
no,
suffering
no,
from
no,
a similar history. We're all suffering
but
from a
no,
common past of
Uh,
slavery and
uh,
all kind of
but
other historical
Here we go.
things that have happened. And
are
at the
black
end of the day, the
are
black man
black
is the
women trying to
victim.
fix it?
At the end of the day,
Are they
black
trying
men
to
are the
fix
victim,
it?
and
Are
No.
they
black
trying to
women
fix
are
it?
the perpetrators. And nobody wants to
No, no,
look at the
no, it
white
ain't about a
and
perpetrator.
the white man's
It's
system
not
and
about a
his foot on your
It's
neck.
not about
We're
perpetrator.
gonna
Can
blame the
I
black
ask you?
man.
Hold
This
on,
is
no,
the
hold on.
problem.
I'm gonna drop
you
everybody. You
both.
guys gonna be quiet, okay? What you're doing right now has been going on, especially since civil rights, for the past
Mm-hmm.
60 years. The same shit. Listen to what we're saying, right? And that's why the black manosphere
I heard
exists.
what you're saying.
No,
I'm just hearing the two
no, you
sides.
didn't. You know, you felt what I'm saying, right? You ain't heard what I said. The thing is that the pattern has been that way, and black women refuse to look at it. Okay, they don't look at it. What you're doing now, you refuse to look at it. You're performing the exact same way that black women always perform. You're not the boss here.
No, I'm not trying to be the boss.
Yes, you are.
You asked me why I have
I
issue
didn't ask you
with the
why.
manosphere.
I
You
didn't
did.
ask you why.
You said,
I
"What is
didn't.
your angst with the manosphere?"
I didn't ask you a question. Okay.
Oh, okay, if you
You
say
didn't ask.
so.
I didn't ask you a question. Now, do black women really look at themselves? That's the question. Do they?
Well, the thing is, we don't look at ourselves in the. We don't look at ourselves as a part of a bigger system and a bigger history. We're just
Why?
dealing with right now what we're seeing before us, and that's what I'm saying.
Why?
None of us are looking at this whole big picture here.
Why? No, no, ain't none of us. I'm talking about black women. I'm trying to include everybody. How come black women don't?
Why black women don't see themselves?
In the broader perspective, how come they don't look at themselves as a
I
pattern?
think there's a lack of education. There's a lack of sophistication about history, the past, the future, the current situation we're dealing with,
No, that's not
Do
true.
black
socioeconomically and globally. Yeah, it's a lot of
No,
things, but
that's
you
not
have to
true.
have a
And
certain a
that's
level
not
of
true. That's not
sophistication and intelligence to
that's
do
even
not
see
black
true.
this.
women like to be
You can't
critiqued?
process all of this and
No,
understand where you stand in
how come
human
you
history.
how come you can't? How come you
It's
can't?
not easy. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It takes a certain level.
Who said it was easy? How come you can't?
A
Does it
lot
have
of
to be
people don't
easy?
have the
No, no, no.
basic
I ain't talking about. No,
education and
that's not my
tools.
question. No, no,
You
no,
This
no,
asked
is
my
the
no,
question. I'm
no,
giving
goalpost.
you the
no, no,
answer.
no. Hold on a second. We have elite PhDs that don't do this yet. Why?
I'm talking about the average
No, no, no,
woman
no, no. I didn't
out
say that.
here, the average black
No, I'm
woman
talking
out
about.
here.
I'm talking about the intelligentsia. Don't even do that. Why?
You didn't say that initially. You said, why don't black women? You didn't say
Black are not
intelligentsia.
are the intelligentsia the PhDs black women too?
Well, I mean, I'm talking about as a totality. If you have a
No, no,
specific
no. I'm
people
talking.
you're talking about,
What I'm saying is, there's a totality. Aren't there people at the top that actually break this
you
stuff
got people
down?
that I'm
No,
look, I'm a former
May,
English teacher.
May,
You got
May,
people who
May,
are
May,
barely
May,
literate,
May, May,
and you
May,
asking them to
May,
analyze their
May, May,
position in human
May,
history. Like
May,
seriously?
May.
I'm
Stop
here.
And
that.
that
May, stop that.
I'm here.
and
Stop that.
that's
Okay.
why black men and black women have an issue talking because
No,
you
no.
No, we
don't.
don't have an issue talking.
Yes,
He's talking
Yes,
over
we
me.
do.
Then he asked me a question and I'm
No what?
answering.
Charles. Don't get us started. Okay. I'm asking you
Okay.
a question. I'm asking you,
And I'm
how come?
answering it.
No, you're not. How come black?
You cut me
No,
off
no,
and I was
no, no,
answering.
no, no. Stop talking for a second.
Okay.
Okay, let me finish my question first. Okay, how come black women don't look at themselves? Because they don't. Why is that?
Okay. I'm gonna answer it.
Go ahead. I'm giving
Here's
you got
my
2 minutes.
answer.
Answer it. Go ahead.
My answer is that black women don't have the ability to totally see themselves in their
Okay.
particular station in human history where we are presently because they don't understand their past and they don't understand their current situation. And part of that is due to lack of ability to properly assess themselves, see themselves, and analyze themselves, just like black men have the same problem.
No, we do. Black men do not
No,
have the
we
same
don't.
Oh,
problem.
yes, y'all do.
No,
Nah,
we don't.
I can analyze myself as a black man.
Yeah.
I think,
Oh, yeah,
especially
y'all
in this
are
space, most
always
people
this is
can.
No,
Can I answer a question?
go ahead and answer a question. Who's first?
Can I ask you a question, May? Have you read Daughters of a Trade?
First of all, are you an African American or black man before we begin to
No, no,
talk?
no, 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 no. Answer the question one way or the
Answer the
other.
question, May.
No, I'm not answering a white
Uh,
man. I'm gonna tell you that
he,
now.
he You see his picture,
No
right?
one on here
I
is
can't
white.
Is
see who is.
white.
Let me see.
Nobody on here is
Nobody's
white.
on
Okay,
Nobody's
that's all I
white.
need to know.
May,
Okay, because I don't answer no white people.
stop dodging. But you didn't answer my question. I'm actually going to replay this because you actually answered the question properly. You don't have the ability to actually look at yourselves. That's the problem. So
You
the
know
black
what?
community is
And
actually
y'all
done.
don't either, BGS.
No,
You
we
know
do.
what?
Yes, we do.
You know what, May? I was gonna do a show,
We go to insult.
right?
Go
But I
ahead.
pray,
No, it's
May.
not. It's not
Did I
insult.
insult you, May?
You know what, May?
You
I
just
pray
insulted
that you
him, but it's
come over
okay.
to my channel so I can have a one-on-one conversation with you, because I'm gonna prove to you why black men and black women have difficult speaking. Because what you did was a classic example of listening to reply and not comprehending.
He asked me a question and I
No, no,
responded.
no, no,
What do
no,
you
no, no,
mean?
no. Wait a minute. Wait a
See how
minute.
y'all
Calm
talk
yourself
like
down.
that?
Calm
Now y'all
yourself
talking
down.
talking too
That's
much.
called
It's
hearing and
perfect.
not listening.
I'm called.
I
There's a
don't do
It's
difference.
that.
called.
It's
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 called.
No, 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 no,
It's
no.
wait,
I
called.
don't
I
do that.
didn't finish my. It's
go ahead,
called.
finish,
I
Charles.
didn't
But
finish my statement.
this is why the black community is going to fail because
And
black people
see,
can't
this
look at
is the
themselves. But you
problem.
did answer the
Every
question,
time,
though. Go ahead, Charles.
every time, and it's not like I'm an expert of watching people in their direst of times, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express. Here's the issue: black women don't look at themselves very well because they don't think there's anything to fix within themselves. And instead of saying, you know what, I'm human just like this person, and I'm a finite creature when it comes to making mistakes, it's always Tyrone's fault. How are you going to? It's just like, for example, if a lot of our kids are raised by single moms, but the kids are not doing so well, we'll blame the person who wasn't there compared to the person who had all the influence.
Mm-hmm.
No sense does that ever make.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm
And
glad you
here's
brought
another
that up.
thing, because actually, black men are the most involved fathers out of anybody
I'm
on
glad you
planet
brought.
Earth.
Okay, I'm glad you guys brought that up. That is one of my issues that I have with the black manosphere.
Okay.
I'm really glad you brought that one up.
Here we
One
go.
of the
Niggas
issues
ain't
I
shit.
have,
And try to make it concise, okay,
I'll make
for
it
us.
concise and to the point. One of the problems I have is that there's this need you guys have in the black manosphere, red pill, whatever y'all call it, to actually try to act like all black people are monolith, male and female.
We
We're
don't.
all the
No,
same
we
No,
don't.
being.
let him
And
finish. Let him
hold on, let me
finish.
finish. Let me finish, please. Let me
Hey,
finish.
May,
Let
May,
me
May,
please
May,
finish.
May,
Y'all, this is why
May,
communication breaks
May,
down. You see what
May,
y'all do?
May.
Before I get a sentence out, y'all cut me
Let me
off.
control my
This is
panel,
what happens
okay?
when you come to the
No,
table.
May. Let me control my panel, okay? I was actually going to tell them to shut up, okay?
I didn't know they were talking. I didn't hear them
No, no.
talking.
Now, finish your statement.
Okay, so my statement is that we're
And
not all the
make it
same.
concise and
I'm
not
making it
5 minutes run
concise.
on.
I'm getting to the
Thank you.
point. I'm making it concise. We are not all the same, and you all seem to treat black people like we're all the same. One of the issues I have, I come from middle to upper middle class, professional black
What is that? What is
America.
that? What is
Hold
it?
on
What
one
is that?
second.
What?
Hold
No,
on.
no, 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 no. What does
Oh,
that
you see how
mean?
y'all do?
Hey,
I
May.
don't
What
talk
is
to
that?
people like
May.
that.
May.
You
What
just
does
here
that
with
mean?
attitude.
Are you
That's all.
sport? Are you
I
only
don't
child
have
or
an
something?
attitude.
Are
I'm
you
just
only
trying
child?
to
Are you
finish a
only child or
sentence.
what?
I was just finishing a sentence, brother, and
No,
you
no.
interrupted me.
I'm at.
I
You
will
said
never get a complete thought out if I can't finish my sentence.
May.
I'm wrong for
What?
trying to finish my sentence that you asked me.
May. What does upper middle class mean?
Brother, I just let me finish a sentence and then I can
May. What
I
does
want to
upper
finish
middle
a
class
complete sentence and
mean?
I'll go back and I will explain exactly
Okay.
what it
All
means,
right. Go
okay?
ahead. Finish.
I
Finish.
like to just
You got.
communicate very clearly. So I'm saying we're not all the same. And my issue as a black woman who's from the upper middle class black family,
Mm-hmm.
multiple generations, is I see a very serious obsession with poverty culture and ghetto culture and ghetto people. And you guys are fixated on that as if that represents all of America. And that is sickening because we are not all the same. We're
Shorten it
not
up.
all worried about Keisha. We're not all worried about teen
Shorten it
pregnancy
up.
and hoes and pimps and child support
May.
and food stamps. That's not all America. And
But
you guys
May,
got
can
it
I
No,
wrong.
speak
no,
to
no,
you for
no.
a second, May?
Y'all got it
No.
wrong. You got it wrong.
You got put
I'm done.
5 things. You got
I'm done.
5 things in there, right? What does
I'm
upper
done.
middle class mean?
Is this the point where you trying to pick apart my point?
No. You can give me a bracket, income bracket. You can give me a wealth bracket. Give me an educational
Upper
bracket.
middle class is it's a mentality that oftentimes
No.
goes.
May. Bullet points. We know
It's
what
a
upper middle
culture.
class
It's a
is.
culture.
Give it to us.
culture, upper middle
No,
class
no, 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 no.
culture.
What is your income
It's
bracket
not
of your
just
family?
income. You got people
It
who are
it
at the
is it
ghetto
is
and they got $1
income.
million.
Sauchi, what
That's
is
got
upper
nothing
middle
to do
class?
with it, brother.
Sauchi, what does
Money
upper
has
middle
nothing to
class
do with
mean?
it.
Sauchi, what is
I'm
upper
a
middle class?
billionaire thing. I'm a billionaire. I got a
No,
billionaire
no, no, no.
mentality,
You
so I
got
get
ghetto
it.
billionaires. Look at Clay.
Sauchi,
Tatum
Sauchi,
an
I,
idiot.
the
And
Sauchi,
he's
nine
what is
got
upper
billions, millions,
the
whatever.
Sauchi, Sauchi, what is
upper
upper
middle
middle class?
class, upper
He's
middle
pimping
class,
women and
Hey,
he's got
May,
money.
hush for a second. What
Okay,
does
I'll
upper,
upper
listen.
middle class mean?
upper middle class is when when the income hits top 10%, which obviously has definitely changed because the number that people typically use, 100,000, is honestly not honestly factually is a 1990s
It's
number.
about 250 right now,
No,
apparently.
it's not 250 anymore. It's
What
actually
is it?
higher because of our ridiculous
What is
inflation.
it?
So yeah, it's over 300,000. And then I also
Sounds
break it
about right.
down based on where you actually live. So if we're talking about where BGS lives, which is LA, or where I live, it's over 300,000.
Okay.
It's
And,
ridiculous.
and what
Mhm.
kind of neighborhood would you have to live in as an upper middle class? What kind of county is it regular working class county? Is it a neighborhood? Is it a professional neighborhood? What is it?
I guess you guys don't know all this, or y'all just quizzing me to see
No,
what I.
okay, man. You're gonna dodge then. Okay,
No, I'm not dodging. I'm
now
trying to
you
figure
are
out what we're
dodging.
doing here.
No,
Y'all
we're
don't know what
dodging.
middle class, upper middle class is.
No,
Y'all
you
don't know
made
what that is. I gotta define it.
May, you made a claim.
I just
Okay,
told you what I'm talking
no,
about.
May. You're not acting like you're upper middle class. Okay, you're not acting
That's
like
your
that.
opinion.
No.
That's your
That's
opinion.
I've been
facts.
around people,
That's your
millionaires,
opinion.
and
I can say
no,
the same
you're not.
about you.
No, you're running on just like a working class chick. That's what
No,
you
I'm
sound like.
not. I'm
Yes, you
actually
are.
just very patient. I'm
No, no,
listening
no,
to
no.
you
You're not
guys.
passionate.
Y'all keep
You're
no, no,
running
no,
your
no.
mouth.
I don't
No,
do
you're
They
that.
running your mouth right
No, no,
now.
no, no, no. Y'all
Yes,
doing
you
that.
are.
I'm
No,
not
no, no,
doing
no, no,
that.
no, no, no. Yes, you're
You're
running your
doing
mouth
See,
right
that.
now.
I'm
Oh
not
No, no,
doing
no,
boy,
that.
no, no.
here we go.
see, BGS.
Go ahead,
Can I say something to this, May?
real
No,
quick.
This is
he
the
was
reason.
dealing
Hold
with my
on, hold
question.
on, hold on. We let you talk. You got to be
I just
respectful to
muted you. Go ahead.
everybody else, like we respected you. Here's the key factor. There's hardly any difference between the 85 and the 92 when it comes to their behavior, especially when they disagree with something. There's almost, because guess what? The 92 female, all the way down to the 85 female, listen to the same music. I've seen women with master's degrees and PhDs twerking in a restaurant.
hmm
That's the issue.
Yeah, that's
Is
true.
we can't, once you take away the gown, the cap and gown, and the degree, you can't tell them apart.
What I'm saying is, why are you guys
But
focusing
hold
on
on,
them?
I wasn't finished. Hold on. And see, this is the part when we can tell that our women, our so-called women, are not
Y'all don't have
delicate.
any women. You only get a woman
Hold
that you
on,
married to.
hold on. You're being aggressive to
Nah,
somebody.
she can hear you, but she can't speak. Go ahead, finish.
Oh, she's gone.
No, she's
And
not gone. She's there. She can hear you.
he just pulled her down.
Oh,
See, this is the reason why so many men give up on Western women, because no matter the class you get, the attitude's all the same. And I'll stop there.
I just wanted to say why I came on was I've been waiting for this since 2016. 2016. That's how
Really?
long I've been. Yeah.
For this?
Well, I mean, for us to get
Oh,
to this level, like for it to like just be
oh,
normal.
okay.
But as you always say, you always got to go back because new people come in
Yeah.
so they can understand the basics. So this is why a lot of times when people come around, and this is why I call you the last boss, because when people come around, they think, not really thinking, they feel that there's no progress here when in actuality there is, and you get on the guys, especially more so than anybody. So did Sammy,
Exactly.
Wait a minute.
so did Kevin S. But the problem is, again, people only gonna choose whatever the hell they want to choose, and even right now, I mean, uh, hold on, how do I reverse this thing?
Very,
My
Listen,
very
camera.
important
look,
question. When
camera.
you
Yeah,
talk to the
the camera.
final boss, is he a
Yeah,
Kuma?
he's the final boss.
Is he a Kuma, Shao Kahn, or Jesus?
There should be like a little camera with the arrow switching. There you go.
Right,
No.
right.
This is my esoteric
Exactly.
this is my esoteric playlist, right? Okay. 7 years ago, esoteric female nature, right? Female nature number 2. Female nature and second market value 7 years ago. Male mother need and microchimerism, right? Esoteric male nature. Esoteric male SMV. Jung, yin yang and intermarriage, right? 7 years ago. Animal individuation, 7 years ago. Okay, intermarriage and the hero's journey, 7 years ago, right? Okay, 5 things about women, 7 years ago. Communicating with women, 7 years ago, right? Value your light and attention, 6 years ago. Female animus, 5 years ago, right? Uh, uh, Lucy Igre, the difference between genders, 5 years ago. Okay, Me Too, Esoteric Ramble, womb imprint, 6 years ago. See all that? Saturn cycle, 4 years ago. Inner oracle, okay, that was 4 years ago. Okay, spiritual energy, okay. Who are you really? Okay, inside. Okay, how many years ago is that?
Like 10 years down there.
In other words, I've been doing this. Okay.
Yeah.
And to also add, I guess all
But
we do is just talk about black women. But I got all these books. The book just came in. Thank you very much, BGS. I guess we don't read, we don't study, we're not. It's nonsense, man. It's just nonsense.
Yeah.
But again, they're choosing specific people and specific, videos.
Yeah.
Not really looking at the whole totality of what's going on to say, okay, these specific people and groups of people with this person, this is what they typically talk about. Okay, so then that means either you're not smart or you're just being disingenuous. But in this, again, that's why I say you're the last boss, and you got a lot of freaking patience. Because I sure the hell don't.
Yeah. And in fact, I got PhDs writing books as we speak. Okay. In fact, I'm trying to get Dr. T write a second book on male emotional labor. Okay, because it's not talked about in the academy. Okay, at all. How men actually express their feelings. They're trying to get boys to be females. I'm trying to reverse that. Okay.
Can I say this?
Go ahead.
I want to say this.
But when they knew that to use my research about the spread of feminism and the spread of the dissolution of gender roles worldwide, she knew that much. Okay, because she used it with that. Was that okay? You use that shit. So you do listen to some of this stuff.
Yep.
But you're disingenuous.
I just want to say this to May. Is she still around or listening? May.
So listen. Hold on one second.
Wait a minute.
One
God
second.
damn.
I just want to say one.
Wait a minute.
No, let him finish, and then you can speak. Okay.
I came to speak to BGS.
Wait a minute.
You came up on a panel. We can do this. We can do this after the panel's over. Okay.
May.
One thing you're not gonna do is run on sentences. Yes, we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty. Okay.
You know what, May?
We're gonna talk.
After BGS closed down, I'm gonna open up a panel. And we'll have a one-on-one. And you get to see whatever you want.
No, she wants to speak to me, so we're gonna speak to her alone after this. Okay.
She could do it after the
thanks
show.
For the gangbang.
The thing is, you could have requested me speaking to you. Hey, Gay, May, can you control? You have impulse control, sweetie?
No, I don't.
You have impulse control.
I do.
Use it, please. Okay.
And I would just invite her to my show because I would love to have a one-on-one. But I'm going to say this: this is the reason. This is the reason.
May, use your adult brain. Impulse control. Okay.
That's not impulse control. I said I came to talk to you, and he's still jumping in.
No, okay.
Keep interrupting me.
Listen to what I just said. What did I just say to you? Did you hear that? What I just said? If you want to talk to me alone, what did I say? Repeat it to me. Did you hear it?
I heard what you said.
Okay, so did you internal repeat it back to me? What did I say?
You guys, this is not really
no. I said
I came up here to have a conversation with you, and it's turning into everybody.
What did I say about that?
Y'all cut off everybody.
What did I say about that?
It's not really good communication.
What did I say about no?
You just cut me off 4 times.
Okay, we're gonna finish this up. I'm gonna close this one down. We'll have a discussion with May because we're like an hour and 46 minutes in. Okay, so closing thoughts. We're gonna have a discussion with May after this because I want to get to the bottom of this because I'm getting actually sick of this shit. Okay, and I'm getting tired of getting sniped at. So I want to get this shit clear. Go ahead, Charles. Closing thoughts.
I'm gonna just say this because this is.
He just gotta say it. Go ahead.
Okay, let me drop you down. Okay.
This is the reason. That's the shit right there. You're gonna be nice about it.
No. Charles. Closing thought.
But
Okay.
that BS right there that the prove, and they wonder why it's hard for them to get in relationships because they're not worth the juice. They're not worth the squeeze for the juice anymore. And when people have other options from much more polite women, they get upset. I don't care if you grew up middle class or in the projects or 100 octane. You all act the same. There's no difference. Until you show somebody difference of the product, they're going to treat it the same. But you can't school women on this behavior. I'm out.
All right.
I'll go next real quick. I just want to get
Okay,
this
go
out
ahead.
the way. I came up for a different reason. I honestly forgot that, but this still was entertaining, and it just still proves point that people really just assume and don't look at the videos and the history on how much we covered class and how much we covered that black people hate class systems, and how we all how black people as a community try to have us be all one class and try not to separate ourselves. We covered that. We covered about men's issues, different issues. We covered about how black men came to America and how our position started, and that's how that helped us out figure out what we need to do as black men. So all the stuff that she said, we actually covered it. It's her job to look back and see if we actually talked about it or not. You can't just come up here and say that we haven't talked about it when you're new to the space. But
Right.
I'm just gonna. Are you gonna start a new live stream, or are you just gonna
No, no.
continue?
I think since she's here, I'll go ahead and finish this up
Okay.
with everybody
So
else.
yeah,
Closing thought.
Yeah.
I'll just jump off. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me go. Keep it grinding. Keep it pushing. Keep it moving. Don't think I didn't notice, May. You didn't answer my question. I'm out.
Okay. Once you know, we know the game. We've been here long enough. Okay. Who's next?
I'll go.
Anybody? Go ahead.
Per usual, appreciate the space. You don't, in my opinion, I know you're not here for the money. You definitely don't get paid enough for the
I
nonsense. In
do
my
not.
opinion, yeah, I know. I say it all the time, Adrian. We say it all the time. You need to charge more so we can get rid of the riffraff.
Yeah.
That's what I came to say. And also, as usual, again, thank you very much. Those of us who come here and contribute and read, study, put the stuff to action.
Yeah.
It is proven. I guess they need a Netflix special on BGS to get it. I mean, maybe that's what they need because that's the level they at. And I'm not
Yeah.
just talking about, hey, I'm talking in general when the
The guy,
chapters come in. Yeah,
the guys too. Yeah. It's not just her.
exactly. I'm not
Yeah.
just talking about her. I actually haven't even addressed her at all. So that's it. As usual, thank you.
All right. Appreciate you, Salchi. Okay. Who's next?
I guess I'll go. I'm just gonna say,
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I'll go for it.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All
Close it.
right, I'll
Go
go.
ahead.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I was just gonna say, no, thanks for the show as usual. I've been following you for a while, and just first time talking. So
Oh, appreciate you. Sound you
yeah,
from the UK.
yeah, I'm from London, man.
Oh, from London. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to say, I think something I've noticed with black women, I think it's definitely over here in the UK, but what appears to be the same in America is maybe like an issue with their stomach meridian, which deals with thinking, meeting people's needs, and like processing information. So I don't know.
We can get into the chakras and the seven chakras and stuff like that, but that's a different dive. In fact, the best book I've seen on it is about the chakras. Is I think uh, Energy Medicine by Carolyn Mace, where she goes to the chakras and the hormones that they secrete and
Yeah.
how they influence the thinking and stuff like that. That also relate to the to the um, to the Kabbalah tree of life. But
Okay.
that's a different stretch, and that's a different dive, man. That's really deep. Maybe one day we'll get into it, but that's a real deep dive. Yeah.
Okay. I also quickly just before you go, I've
Mhm.
also connected. You're actually the first person I've heard talk about how astrology is connected to to Myers Briggs because I thought I just was the only person that
Oh
knew
yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah. I'll be doing that one. I gotta catch up. Well, I've been doing that. I'll be doing that one probably at the end of the week, and that'll be on my Patreon. But you got to be at the $20 level. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I've subscribed to the
You
Patreon.
subscribe. You subscribed. Okay. The $20 level, I'll probably be dropping that one. Because I'm actually going to finish the other one, which is the Saturn cycle, today, and then I'll probably be getting into the Myers Briggs, which is it's probably pretty extensive. Probably the toward the end of the week. And so the first couple should be in that about the Myers Briggs and how it relates to Jungian astrology. In fact, I found the article that the Times article actually said it, where the Myers Briggs was actually a mother and her daughter actually came up with this idea, Myers Briggs, from Jungian psychology and astrology. Okay,
Yeah,
they created,
yeah,
even though they call it astrology for business.
yeah,
That's what they really call it. But it's kind of gotten lost over the years. They now we just accept it without
yeah.
connecting to astrology. But yeah, we'll get into that. We'll get
Okay.
into that. All right.
Peace. Thank you.
Okay. Peace. James, go ahead.
Hey, I'm really glad that I caught you. I rarely get to catch the live, but hearing May talk and stuff, it really does prove a point that it's like black women's kryptonite is the shame thing. It's like when you reveal to themselves like the
Yeah.
mirror or hold up a mirror, they just really
The sign
they
language.
really don't like that. It's just like it's always something to combat. It's always a
Yeah.
back and forth.
Yeah.
Always, 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 always. They can't just sit down and listen. Like I myself deal with this, at work, through
Uh-huh.
different sectors of society. I see it everywhere. It's just the spirit of just combativeness. It's always something,
Yeah.
But hey, but again, I appreciate you having me up, and I'll see you guys later. All right.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. All right. I need you guys to drop down, including Charles. Okay. Me and May alone. Okay. And we'll get through this. We'll go through this for like maybe 20 minutes, May, and we're gonna get this straight, man, because this is getting tiring. But go ahead. You
Yeah.
got 3 minutes. Go ahead and talk.
No, I don't have anything else to say. I brought my sincere self here, and I think that
Mm-hmm.
the lack of order, I'm disappointed in myself. I'm disappointed in you because I hope to have a constructive, intelligent conversation.
You're talking to me right now. Okay, that's why you
But
that's what appeals to me. May, stop
I
for
wasn't
a
even
second.
finished what I was saying.
May, stop for a second. Right, you're here with me right now. Okay, you hear me right now. Not about hoping to hear me right now, one on one. You came up during a panel. Okay, not by yourself.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know.
there's
And
a
I was gonna
difference.
wait, and I asked you, was it a better for another time? But you said go ahead and come up.
Yeah,
So
the time is now. Okay.
okay, all right, that's fine. And let's do this because one of the things that I've learned to do, I'm a good communicator, and one of the things I've learned to do is set some
Mhm.
boundaries, set boundaries and expectations. We always open up when we're organizing and doing things, that's the best way to do it. So please tell me what you expect of me in the next couple of minutes, or how you want me to communicate with you.
One to listen, and two, just like you can interrupt me and ask me a question. Okay. I know the millennial thing, how they train them is to run on and get everything out before somebody actually cuts in, right? The thing is, there's some certain things you say I want clarification so I can actually understand you. I'm not going to talk for, hold on. I'm not going to talk for 5 minutes. I'm just ask you a clarifying question. What does that mean when you
Okay.
say something? Okay.
Is
So I
it
can keep it.
possible that you can let the clarification question happen at the end of a
If
brief statement?
if it's brief and if you don't compile like 7 different things in that statement.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
If you take one point, stick to it, make your statement, and make that the only point, we can do that. If you're gonna have
Okay.
actually compile like 7 different points in the middle of it, like you did in your last statement, we have like 5 or 6 different points. Okay, then we can't have a dialogue.
All right.
Okay,
So I will speak concise, and I will
and get
answer your
to,
questions at the end, and
no,
also
get to one point and one point only. And if I don't understand something, can I interrupt you?
I don't think so, because then it gets to the point of frustration because a comment is not completely understood. So if you can just wait till the end, and I'll make sure I make concise statements, and then I'll
Thank you.
clarify
All
gladly.
right. Oh,
And I'll also pause
if
5 seconds
if
before
if you can
speaking after you speak.
if you can do that and stick to one point, we can agree to that. Okay.
I'll do it.
Okay. Now, go ahead.
Okay. So BGS, one of the things that I feel is that you should be a healer and release these men from the frustration they feel. That's the thing I want to say.
What makes me not a healer?
I feel, well, I'm gonna say
I,
I'm gonna say in my opinion, these men are suffering because they have hopelessness.
how do you know that?
I hear it in their voice, their frustration. They call women bitches.
Did you hear it? Do you hear them? Anybody on my panel call it women bitches?
In some of the comments, I've seen it I've seen certain comments. Yes, not today,
Okay.
but I've seen it in the past. I watch a
So
lot.
how do you know they're not healed, even though they call a woman a bitch?
There's not a standard of like decency in that.
In other words, since '93, basically, niggas and bitches have been part of the vernacular for the last 30 years, has it not?
That's true. So maybe in a way, I'm making a class judgment based
Now,
on class.
we have people in the upper classes calling each other niggas and bitches. Okay, it's called a tangle of pathology that has spread throughout all the classes we have gone over. I've actually gone over that, but that's okay. I know you haven't listened to that video.
What is it called?
The tangle of pathology. Clark actually talked about it. It actually went through Clark's book, Dark Ghetto. That's where Monahan got it. The tangle of pathology came from Clark.
Okay.
And so where a lot of the lower class behaviors that would actually spread to the middle and upper class, it wasn't arrested, and it has.
Okay. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I think maybe that may be why this irritates me because I just see that there is a focus on what I consider a lot of ghetto culture. And I don't think it's necessary for us to act like that's all black people.
And the thing is, okay, do you understand why ghetto culture has spread?
No, I actually don't. I don't know why.
So in other words, if you're going to heal people, if a doctor comes to you and you have an ailment and they don't understand why the ailment exists, would you let them treat you?
No.
Why?
They don't completely understand it, so I don't think they're going to be able to come to a resolution about what it is if they don't understand it.
So in other words, if you don't understand the why, can you heal that person?
No.
So in other words, when you're judging people, you want to heal them without understanding the why.
Okay.
Right? Am I
Yeah.
am I
You're
am I
right.
close?
You're right. I get it. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I
So in
get it.
other words, you came into the manosphere because you assume that I don't heal people, right? That's your assumption, right?
Based on what I see, yeah.
Okay. But you don't understand what you really see, do you?
You know what? You're trying to take me down into
No,
that
no, no, no.
place.
I'm not trying. No, no, no. Don't do that. Okay. I'm asking you a question. No, no, sweetie, I've been Gnostic for over 30 years. Okay, trained by one of the best,
I know. I can
and
tell some. Yeah.
I have 3 children because I went to Gnosticism because I wanted to understand my baby mama who I was having problems with, and my 3 children. Okay, and on top of my family, who's very gynocratic.
Okay.
Still dealing with them, right? Okay. I needed to understand them. And Christianity wasn't doing it for me. So I had to go deeper. So I've been doing this a long time. So I'm taking you down because this is the path that you just asked for. And
Okay.
basically I'm turning it back on you. I didn't judge you. I said if you want to heal somebody and you judge them, you want to you question about what people are doing, but you don't understand why they do it
And
or
I
what
think
they need.
I think you're right, and that's why I listen to a lot of different people because I'm trying to understand what the motives are. Some people I see it's money, and for you, I can't understand exactly what it is. And
Okay, really? Did you ever ask?
well, no, I haven't, but I am.
Okay. What I'm saying, if you don't understand, how come you just didn't ask?
Okay, I'm asking now. What is the
Okay.
purpose of this?
D-
Because let me ask this part. What is the purpose of this? Because I see black female images being the I guess you would say the target practice of whatever this is that you're doing.
Black female images.
Yeah.
This is a masculine channel, right? And what is the biggest angst for a black man in the United States? It's the biggest
They think
angst.
it's black women, but it's
It
not.
is. It is black women. How do you know it's not black women?
Black women don't have any power,
No, no, no,
don't
no,
have
no.
any control.
It doesn't matter. What do the men say their biggest angst is?
In this YouTube space.
No, 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 no. Well, this has been an angst well before the YouTube space. Okay, YouTube space is new. I've been doing this since '85. These kind of focus groups, these kind of meetups, these kind of get-togethers with men and with females, male-female relationships seminars, all that kind of stuff. Right? Rom, go to Rom's channel. He's been doing that since '91 when he actually wrote his first book. Okay, this has been going on for a very long time before the YouTube actually came along, before the internet was really a viable thing. Okay, it's been going on a very long time. It didn't just
Now,
start.
are these focus groups? I'm sorry, interrupt. Um, I guess this question I have is: are these focus groups people who are struggling already, who already have issues? Because most people naturally flow into.
No, they don't. They don't flow. In fact, I wish I could. I wish I could. My mentor, okay, who I actually still do a show with. I've been doing a show with her since 2009. So God, that's got to be 15 years almost. Okay, she got her PhD in counseling. Guess what? She counsels male and female relationships. Right? She's
Okay.
written like 15 books on male female relationships. I learned from her. She says the same thing I say. She's been doing this for 40 years.
Okay. BGS, can you acknowledge that there are people
But
who have?
you never asked me my question. Was the original question why I do this, right?
Yeah.
That was the
Okay.
original question. What
Yeah.
you actually added on, how many more?
All right. I'll stand corrected. Go ahead.
Okay, I do. I'm a Gnostic, right? Okay, if you understand anything about Gnostics, their mission is to do what? Give back what they have learned, which is teach, right? I've been given knowledge, I have to give it back. That's why I do it. Like Chi says, and I know there's guys out there that learn with me. They're millionaires. Okay, they're millionaires. I could with my mentor, she's a big publisher in the black world. I could take what I know and my insight and do what Dr. Umar does and make $200,000 a year. But my mission is to give back what I know. That like my teacher did. He didn't die a rich man. He should have, but he didn't die a rich man. So I'm giving back what I know. That's my mission. That's my job. That is my unctor according to my religious beliefs.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yeah.
That sound good to you?
Yeah. I
Okay.
I think
Now
that sounds
go
right.
to your next
Mhm.
question. But things you got to be honest with me and not be so defensive. Okay.
Okay. Um, do you think that people
Eh,
have a natural ability to just fall into relationships?
no, they don't. And it was never meant to. I actually went over. I actually did it. Actually did a video. Was it Monday or was it Friday about the role of marriage? The role of marriage was not so men and women could actually get along with each other. It's actually there to raise children, and that's why you had the family pick out your mates
I agree.
because they knew you better. Okay.
I
The
agree.
thing is, in this modern era, okay, especially women, they didn't like being signed to man. They wanted to pick their own. That's where we are. And basically now, since 1990, which I talked to psychologists back in 1991 about the shit they're getting ready to do that's happening right now with the erasure of gender roles. Okay, when I was coming up, and I saw my mother and father, they had roles. Okay, they had roles that they performed. In fact, I came up in an era where the man came home and gave the mother the check, okay, because she ran the
Mhm.
house, okay. She ran the
Okay.
house. He trusted her with his money because she had to run the house, okay. That's where I came up. And when I tried to pick a wife, there wasn't none like that, okay. So trying to force a woman to a pattern that she was not trained for is difficult. So I came up in the time when there was a crossover, where they didn't train wives anymore. The beginning of the modern woman happened when I was young. To try to find a woman who would do the same thing that my mother did was impossible. If
Okay.
you could find her, she was rare.
Well, I would argue that there is this thing you guys are doing where y'all are trying to say, like, I think this is my opinion. it looks like y'all are trying to pit women against men in some kind of psychobabble war and create a war that doesn't exist. And I say that because I'm looking down the street right now. I'm living in the suburbs, and there are families here, and they're men and women. They don't know about any of this stuff, and they got married. They're in love. They have children. They have grandchildren, and they're living very normal. Happy. I don't know if they're happy, but they're living very
Hmm.
normal, functional. Because we're gonna get back to that marriage as a function and not some romance and stuff. They're doing that. And these people are not aware of any of this stuff y'all are talking about. They're not aware of this so-called war on the genders or anything. That's my comment.
Yes, they are. They're very aware of it
They're
because they
not
live
playing
it.
into it,
They live it. They don't have to play into it. They live it.
but they're functional.
What does functional mean?
They're getting what they're set out to do done. There's order and duty, and they're doing that.
So the suburb. Okay, give me a state. Give me a city, suburb. What suburb are you talking about? Because
Okay, Georgia, Atlanta,
so, oh my God, Atlanta, really?
suburbs. Yeah.
Even the suburbs. Guess what Kevin Samuels is actually teaching out of?
Say again?
Guess what Kevin Samuels was when he's actually teaching his show?
I know he was in Atlanta.
It's Atlanta. You know how people from Atlanta tell me how jacked up Atlanta is.
Here we
Okay.
go. See, y'all not
No,
gonna
no, no, no,
tap
no,
in. No, no,
hey, hey,
no.
hey, 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 stop. Okay. You just had a woman in Atlanta that does matchmaking. Okay. What's her name? Rebecca Lynn Pope in Atlanta, matchmaking in Atlanta, right? What does she say about it? About functional?
I think I saw some of that video, and yeah, she was telling women to just do their own thing unless they can get a white man because they can't get a black man. That's what
In
she
other
said.
words, it's not functional anymore. Okay. There's a reason it's not functional. And the people that you do call functional, okay, are either rare or they're older, where they were still trained wives. Okay.
Okay, fine. Okay, so we'll go with that if that's what I'm just telling you. I live in a bubble, so the people around me reflect me, and I find space, and that's my environment. So I'm not seeing what you guys see. That's part of my issue with the manosphere. What y'all see, I don't see. I see a lot of normal functioning people, and you guys seem to have a concentration of people who are having difficulty and struggle. That's what I see.
Most of the guys that you saw up here are not struggling.
They're all married.
A couple are.
Yeah, and see, that's where me and Ed got into it the other day because all I asked was, is
Uh, uh,
anybody between 18 and 27 in this crowd, is
no,
anybody concerned about divorce when you're not even married? And then that's
I,
when he called me and said, come on up here. I
eh,
wasn't intending to, but I did.
you know what I talked to a childhood friend of mine, and she's uh 70, right? She just turned 70,
Hmm.
and we thought they were the perfect couple. They had no issues. Okay, functional. She was a registered nurse with a master's degree. He had a master's degree in accounting. Okay,
Okay.
worked in finance, worked for a high level company. Okay, they had issues. Okay, deep seated issues.
And what are you saying about it?
They'll function. There's always this push and pull between men and women. Functional. When you say functional, doesn't mean there's not issues.
Of course. Anybody who knows about marriage knows it's not perfect, and it's not any of those things that you see that says it is. They just facade. It is not going to ever be perfect, but people since the beginning of mankind have figured it out. And you guys are at a place, in my opinion, where y'all are trying to say, oh, it's a total breakdown, it's chaos, it's a war of genders, and the world is going to end, and I just don't understand that.
You don't want it. Okay, the thing is, you don't understand it because you
It's
know
not real.
it is real. What do you mean it's not real?
That's not real. You guys are making that up. It's
No,
not
we're not
real.
making it. We're not making it up. What makes you think we're making it up?
Okay, I'll tell you what I think is the reason why you guys are making it up. I believe, this is my opinion, and I'm gonna just
Hmm.
say it and I'm gonna keep it concise. I believe that there are men who have struggled to have relationships or be happy in marriages, those who are married, and they have come to a watering hole, which is the internet, in this space, your space, and the red pill space, and they find solace in blaming women for their unhappiness, and they're not getting counseling and therapy, and this is the cause.
Okay. If they go, you know what? In fact, I sent this email to all my doctorates, right? Okay.
Okay.
I had a sub, right? And he came into the manosphere. He had been married 16 years, unhappy, went to therapy, had been in therapy like 10 years, okay? On medication, came to the
Wow.
manosphere, figured out he wasn't alone, okay? Figured
Hmm.
out what his problem was. He got divorced. He's happy now.
So the woman was his problem.
The thing is, he understood whatever it was. He understood. He found out his relationship was his problem. It wasn't
Okay.
working. Okay, he thought it was just him. He was crazy, and he wasn't. There's a lot of
So
guys that the average black marriage that lasts 5 years. Why is that?
because we're dysfunctional people generally.
But I thought you said it was all in our heads.
I'm saying if there is a issue, which it does seem to be in the black community, it's two reasons. Marriage is outdated as an institution, so it's going to be rare. And I think it's going to be the upper classes that continue marriage, not the lower classes. That's my opinion. And number two, we are historically, culturally a backward people. We've been through a lot, and we have to acknowledge that's male and female. And you all try to say, oh, we're perfect as black men, but you black women carry all the problems that we've ever had. It's all your fault. Has nothing to do with white supremacy, nothing to do with the white man's system. It's just what black women, and that's the problem I have.
No, no. I've been in the manosphere 9 years. No black manosphere actually said that. Okay, black men know they're screwed up. We jump on each other all the time. Okay, the thing is, what we can't get is women to actually look at themselves. And you said it. You don't look at yourself. You don't want to fix your problem on that side. That's why do you think the pro blacks come over to the men? The men will actually listen. The women won't, and that's their problem. So they can't really work with the women. They're going to tell women what they want to hear because the women will actually rebel against changing. They won't change.
BGS, with all due respect, if you guys are punching down on women, that's a natural instinct to be defensive. Just to be honest with you.
Women are low. Black in the ADOS community. Women actually above us. How can we punch down?
When you say something and you say that it's
No, no, no,
truth
no,
and
no,
it's a
no, no. How can we punch down if you're above us?
well, I can tell you how. Perfect example when I came on the panel. I mean, you see, I'm not behaving that way. I was defensive
May,
because I was
May,
being
May,
attacked and
May,
cut off.
May. How if black women are
That was
above us?
punching down.
No, no. If black, how, okay, physically, okay. If you punch down on somebody, the person has to be what? Lower than you, right?
Yeah.
Logically, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How can you punch down on somebody that's above you?
Well, that's where we disagree. I don't think that you are below me as a man. I don't.
If you hear black women talk, what do they say? How much better they're doing, right? Okay, how much smarter they are, more educated they are, they're doing better, blah 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 blah, right?
Yeah,
They're the backbone of the community, right? They've
that's
been saying
true.
that for ages, right? In
We
other
see
words,
evidence of it.
and
Yes.
they run things, right? In other words, they treat the black man as though that they're below them. We have
See,
all
that's
these
your
problems. We have
interpretation.
all the
That's your
we,
interpretation. See, that's
w-
where we get an
no, 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 no,
impasse.
no. May, do you read literature at all?
Yeah, it depends on what you mean. I don't follow a bunch of statistics if that's what you
No, no,
mean.
no, no. Do you read the books that talk about this? Okay.
Okay, name a book or two.
Oh, good grief. The Truly Disadvantaged with William Julius Wilson. There's another one called, what is it? Marriages for White Folks, right? We're actually talking about the problem of black women finding suitable mates. Basically, a lot of what Rebecca Lynn Pope talked about, even on her last rant, said the exact same thing. There's not enough black men that are suitable mates for black women. In other words, black men actually struggling. They're in jail, they're gay, they're broke, okay, they're uneducated, blah, blah, blah. All the markers, right?
Okay.
And they said how black women are actually above them. They're more educated, they're more employed, they have more businesses, they're more intelligent, blah blah. In other words, the problem is not them, it's black men. There's not enough suitable black men for us. Okay, so in other words, black men are lower than us. So how
Okay.
can
Do you
black
think
men?
that's propaganda or is it true?
It's mostly propaganda. Okay.
Okay.
The thing is, what do black women believe? Do they
Okay.
believe the propaganda, the down low men, the gay men, uh, 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 too many black men in jail? Okay, too
That
many black men.
propaganda.
How can I finish?
Uh-huh.
It's called impulse control, right? Okay,
Gotcha.
you asked me
Gotcha.
a question, right?
Gotcha.
Do you think black women believe this, especially in Atlanta, right? Do black women believe this?
My answer is absolutely.
Okay, so in other words, if you believe it, that means black women believe that they're above their men, right? And
I'm nervous to say
black
this,
men are
but
black
I'm
men are
nervous to
defective.
say it, but I think, yeah, I think generally that's been accepted
And
as a thought. Yeah.
so black women are normal, okay? Are they're not perfect, but they're normal, and black men are defective, right? So in other words, if that is the case, that means most black women think they're above us. So how can black men punch down?
Okay. You got me. You got me. What can I say? When you put it like that, you're right. So I don't know how to let's say antagonism. I'll just say antagonism instead of punch down. I'll use that. There's this built-in antagonism. I'm even seeing some of the comments, people calling me ghetto, the name calling. There's a
Uh,
level of immaturity among these men, and these are the
uh,
same men that you want me
oh,
to believe. Hold on one second, I'm still talking.
okay,
These are men that you want me to believe that are structured and stoic. They're masculine and stuff. Just like
okay,
Edward, he had a complete, total
okay.
meltdown, and I was being the rational one, and he was being emotional and screaming and crying in the phone.
Over's been emotional. That's his personality.
Wow.
But you were screaming too, sweetie.
No, no, I didn't scream at all, ever.
Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes, you did. Yes, you
play it
did.
back.
Stop.
Play it back.
I'll play it back. Well, I can't play it back if we're live, can we?
No, no, you can't. But you can send. I'll send you my email in the back
Mm,
chat. You can send me the clip where you saw me scream because I don't
mm,
scream. I don't
mm,
scream. I don't
mm,
scream, sir.
mm,
I don't scream.
mm.
And I'll tell you how I know, because when I'm a troll, I'm in total control of myself. Total
Mm-hmm.
control when I'm trolling
Mm-hmm.
somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I could probably get upset if you kept cutting me off or being rude to me, but you're not. So I'm very rational and
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
I'm listening.
until I said impulse control, you're cutting people off. Okay? Were you not?
You talking about right now or earlier?
No, earlier. You're cutting people off. You're out of control. That's why I
You
kept
all made me feel defensive, so yes,
uh,
I
uh,
was.
uh, uh, what you're supposed to be in control, right? And not scream, right?
I didn't scream, but I was upset. I was irritated.
because you weren't in charge.
Well, I feel like y'all were trying to have a gangbang on me, and I didn't appreciate that.
Why do you think we're trying to have a gangbang when you
Everybody want
guys
to
do
come stick theirs in. That's why.
it? Because you're on a panel, okay? And when they're talking, even though they're saying something, you want to get back right in the middle of their conversation, right?
That's my mistake. I should have just been quiet till the end and not
That,
even. That's
that's
my
that's
mistake.
that's why I brought you down. The thing is, um, it was only supposed to be for a minute, but you want to have a whole conversation. So we're having a whole conversation. That's why I brought you down to the end. Even when I told you that, you still kept interrupting because you wanted to have your say. But that's typical of black females because you guys run the community.
Yeah, we do have control issues, but I guess at the end of the day, BGS, do you want men to be gay or do you want men to date out? What do you really want men to do? That's my question.
I,
Because at the end of the day, you got to have a resolution. What's the resolution?
are you asking me what I want from men?
Yeah.
First thing I want men to understand themselves. That's my first thing. I want men to understand themselves. And then after that, then I want men to decide what they want to do. Because I always say, okay, if 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 you want to date black women, you have to understand who they are.
Okay.
And I show black men who black women really are. That's what you're gonna marry. So
Oh,
if you want that, you're gonna have to accept her as she is and not try to change her because she can't change. Okay, she's been indoctrinated over 15 generations. She can't change. Okay, So if you want that, you have to marry that. They have to be able to accept her for what she is and be good with it. Or you're gonna have to make a different choice. Stop complaining about a black woman and she acts this way, acts that way, blah 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 blah. You got to make a different choice. Okay, that's the first thing. But the second thing, the first thing, one, you have to understand yourself. Okay, understand your purpose and your mission and yourself. Then pick a mate that's suitable. And a lot of guys want to pick a fat ass. They want to pick a woman that looks good, woman that has good pussy, or whatever it is, and then complain. Okay. And first thing I tell them, I said, first thing when a guy complains about a woman, I say, why you pick her? Why did you pick her? What did she
Right.
have that made you fall in love with her? What makes you stick with her? Because trust and believe, you ain't heard me challenge a man. I'm much tougher on men than I am on women.
I would love to see that.
You would love to see. I got a whole archive of live streams I did for like 5 years or 6 years called the Coliseum. About 5 years, did for the Coliseum,
Okay.
where I challenged men.
Okay.
And the
Is that
thing is,
something available on your channel, or is this something private in a?
I unlocked all of them. You can go back and scroll through them. They're all there.
Okay. You made me nervous when you started saying what black women are. And that's one of the issues I have. A lot of people say to me, you're married. Why are you here? Why are you here? As if nobody who's married or in a relationship needs to be on the internet.
There,
Strange.
there's
But
men, there's men that are married, like Officer Charles. He's not married, but guess where his son is? Okay, his son lives with him. Okay, he made the wrong choice as far as a mother. Okay,
understood.
there's married like Tan. Okay, that came up. The first guy that came up. Okay, he's married. He's married to a Latina, but he's married. He's young. He's married. He's like 28, 29. Okay, he's married with 2 kids. Whole bunch of guys are married that are on here. Okay, a lot of guys. Most of my subs are between 35 and 55. Most of them have been married and have children. A lot of them are divorced. Most of these guys, like Salchi, makes $20,000 a year. Okay, Charles makes 120. Okay, all these people are not dusty. They're not desperate. They got women. Okay, Charles is a cop. He's got women, flocking over him. He understands he's been through enough women. They're not desperate. They're not hungry. All those guys you up there, they're not desperate. Even AB Media, he's a programmer. AB makes $130,000 a year.
Yeah, well, I see, I hear you. And you're saying that these are men who are either educated or resourceful, they're successful in some aspects of life. But what I maybe I'm missing it, maybe I'm seeing something wrong, because that means they're already being productive. It looks to me like two things are happening. One, there's an antagonism, that there's some kind of racial, angst between
Oh,
black men and black women, and therefore you either need to not be with any women, or you need to go find someone else because black women are so bad. So that's what made me nervous when you just said that earlier. You said, I got to show them what black women are.
I have
Brother,
to
how
show.
do you know? How do you know what black women are? How many have you really been with for you to know who black women are? We're so unique.
You want to ask a question, or you want to
I'm
answer?
asking. I'm
My
asking.
body my body count is about 100,
Oh,
110. Okay,
okay.
okay. I've
You
I've
slept with
had
a lot of women. Okay.
I've had I've had I had 7 serious relationships. 7. Okay. I've raised 2 daughters. My one daughter's 35, one daughter's 28. Okay, raised 2 daughters. Okay,
Okay.
and a son. I got 5 grandchildren. Plus, I have 2 sisters, a mother, and I also raised a niece. Okay, I worked in a place where I actually personally know at least 1,500 black women personally. Call them by name over a period of like 30 years. So they told me about their husbands, told me about their boyfriends before their husbands. They told me about their kids, told me about their grandkids, told me about a whole bunch about female nature. Plus, I studied under masters. My mentor is a master. Okay,
Hmm.
she counsels women for 40 years. When I have a question, I ask her. If I don't know something, I ask her. And then I read and I study on top of that. I understand women.
Okay. Black women?
Especially black women. In fact, let me play something because this is a teacher. This is a teacher that didn't believe what I said about black women being Klingons in their mating strategy, right? It's a
Okay.
teacher, right? He actually put my name, well, actually added me because he couldn't believe it, right? He actually teaches middle school. These are 12-year-olds, okay? And I'm gonna play a little bit of it, especially the beginning about the mating strategy, right? Okay,
Okay.
so let me know if you can hear this.
I can hear it.
So that means yes, man. Yeah.
Ooh, God, 30 years? My son has gone through it.
Yes. It depends. So that means yes, man. Yeah. Yeah.
So while we were in class, a girl hit a guy, a black girl hit a black male. And I was like, yo, this gotta stop. And then I thought about something that I heard somebody say before. And he said that a part of black culture is one part of black culture is black females will hit the black males that they like. So after I told the female that she needs to keep her hands off of this young man because he had not hit her in any sort of way, I asked her, I was like, is it true that you'll hit a male that you like? And she said yes. And when we started the podcast, I wanted to ask that question to confirm, and the majority of the black females agreed with this. So let's keep going.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, another question. Do you think that it's okay for females to have babies without a husband?
I think it's fine. Yes. Definitely. No.
No? All right. So why do you say it's okay for females to have babies without husbands?
Because there's other like you can have a baby without having a
No,
man
I'm
to
not
know.
asking if it's possible. I'm asking is that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's
Oh,
fine.
and why is it good?
Because I think it's good because it's being an independent woman, and
All right.
you're being strong without a man that is supposed to be supposedly strong.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's good because basically what Ariel said, but also because you don't always need a man for like everything that you do. Because sometimes they'll be like, you need a man to lift heavy stuff, but not really. You don't really need it.
Okay. And I'm gonna go to you last.
I think it's good because kind of what both of them said, and also because like some stuff happens in people's lives, and maybe the man's not there, or like maybe something like he couldn't be there, so the woman has to like take over. And if they're not married, then I mean, like, why should it stop her? Because like if she wants to have a child and she can have a child, then what's us to say that she can't, and why should we stop?
Which is why it's we've always promoted what I call a gynocracy, right? It's been preached into black women's heads since as far as back as I can remember. That as far as education and wealth and stuff like that, girls are usually promoted, and it's been that way since emancipation. Why are black women promoted over black males? Is because the life of a black male was always tenuous, and they didn't want to leave a woman and her children destitute. So they always poured more resources into black women and their children than into the black man. The black man, if you can get his, he had to get his out the mud. If he can actually succeed, then that's all well and good. We'll celebrate him if he makes it, but we don't expect him to make it. And they've never expected the black man to make it because as good as he could be or as promising as he could be snuffed out by a white man or white mob or the system easily. Could go to jail, be killed, could be disappeared. Okay. And so as far as the family and black women are concerned, that as far as a mate, as far as a father, as far as a helpmate for their children, okay, if you get one, that's fine. But thing is, you could not depend on it. So all the resources, even today, as you can hear it, are still poured into the female because, according to the gynocracy, the black gynocracy, a family is a black woman and her children,
Okay.
and is
So
always
what you
a resource to be tapped into if he's available.
so
What you do?
what you're reacting against, it looks like, is a historical situation, and you want to reverse that. It looks like that's what you guys want to do. Y'all want to go back to a time where things were so-called traditional, something more like what white
Nope,
culture is.
nope. That's not what I said. That's what you got out of it. That's not what I said. What did I
Okay.
say? What did I
You
say?
said you want men to know themselves, and you
No,
want
no, no, no,
them.
no. What did I say in that video that you're reacting to? What did I say?
You said that was a gynocracy created because the resources were placed
No,
towards
it's
women.
because the male's life was what? Uncertain, right?
Right, absolutely.
Okay. So she couldn't depend on a man because he might not be there, right?
That's right.
Okay. He could be killed, could be hung, and he often was. He died early because of hard work, because of labor, because of disease, because out there in the field, and because the white men will actually hang him and disappear him. He was, his life was uncertain. So out of survival, what will actually women actually do? What
BGS
would they do?
bingo. 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 Right there. Bingo.
Out of survival, right? Okay. Well, over
Bingo.
hold on, but over time, what would that actually set up as far as a pattern of action?
Yeah. Women having to do what they have to do independent of black men. Got
a,
it.
a, a black man. But thing is, so now black women have been taught over many generations to see a family as a woman and her children first. In fact, Diane Stewart, and if you go read the book, I suggest you read the book, if or listen to the book, or how you get it. Go to the library. It's called "Black Women, Black Love." She actually said it in her book, a Ghana Protestant Network. We actually do even Islam. There's a guy actually uh, uh, caught from Islam in Black Islam in Philadelphia. He said it operates the exact same way in Black Islam in the United States. The exact Ghana Protestant Africana Kinship Network gynocracy works the exact same way in their patriarchal religion, the exact same way.
This
And
is
so,
the issue, BGS. You have all this knowledge. And you asked me earlier why black women can't see themselves. I am listening and learning from what you're saying and what you're sharing with me. I'm learning. And what I'm seeing is I see how you're applying that and how it applies to real life. I see that. Historically, that's reality. But how many black
where's
women or black men have the ability, have the resources to understand the type of stuff you're saying? This has been historically done. It's institutions, it's history, it's power that black people didn't even wield on themselves. They didn't even make these choices, whether a white man hangs you or not, whether they take you off to war or not, whether, they give you a
be
job or
concise?
not and
Be
define
concise.
you as a black
I
man.
already
They
know
didn't
that.
have
Be concise.
choices.
And
So
and
how can we, brother, I just want to ask real quick, how can we
mm-hmm.
pigeonhole and say that black woman, you are demonized, you are the problem, and you alone? This is what is coming across. I don't know if you guys
Shorten it
realize
up.
that.
Shorten it up. I shorten it up.
Okay, that's it.
And
That's it. I
another,
don't know if you guys realize you
and
demonizing black women
when
by
that's
themselves.
where that's where it comes across because that's where you're acting. Okay, and you're acting that so much to the point where you actually want to separate yourself from black men. That's where the investors come in. That's where the politicians come in. The exact same stuff. When they talk, when they actually a black man tries to get hired into a university, black women actually block it because they black men don't need that. Okay, we don't need them to be educated. We don't need them to actually be actually hired, and actually need them to be promoted. We don't need them to be educated. That's an old pattern that's been around for 150 years, right? The thing is, how do you get black women actually realize that and see that and change their behavior?
Change their behavior. And then there's also things, I'm just asking for acknowledgement. There's also things that
I
black
I
men,
asked you a question. Answer the
how do we
question
get
first.
black women to
To
change
change their behavior.
behavior?
How you get them to
Um,
change the pattern?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that the direction it's going is the way it's gonna be.
So in
Honestly,
other words,
whatever you see that is, it's
i-
gonna be that way.
in other words, you don't think it can be changed.
I don't. I
Okay.
think black women like their independence. They don't want to be
Yeah.
married to
Oh,
black
oh
men. I think
yes, yes,
I think
yes.
overwhelmingly
Keep
that's the
going.
case. I think that's the
Okay.
case.
Okay. So the thing is, but black men are taught to believe the opposite.
Well, that's where we got a problem.
Exactly. So how do you get black men to actually see, with their blue pills, as we call it, and believe that the black men actually the opposite of what they really are? How you get black men to actually see this?
I think I'm a what do you call it? I just want to share this real briefly. I am
And make it brief this time, okay?
I'm gonna make it very brief. I am a American descendant of slaves, okay? And that's been bothering me for a little while. That I have to deal with the reality that the Black African American race is coming to a close because of this type of stuff. And it's global, but it's going to definitely affect us. And I've made peace with it. And so, honestly, I think that the solution would be to just leave Black women alone. Don't criticize Keisha, leave her alone. Don't shame her. You don't need to change her. Those Black women like myself who want to show up to marriage and be functional, will do that. And if we don't, then you go where else. Go somewhere else, but don't worry about Black women. That's my thing.
Okay, that's your thing. But the thing is, you can't tell us how to grieve or separate, can you?
I'm not trying to tell you. I just don't think it's worth any energy if you don't like Black women
Mhm.
to
Okay.
even talk about Black women.
They,
It's
they,
a waste of time.
the fact is, if they didn't like black women or love black women, it would be a waste of time. But the thing is, do they? Would they be hurt if they didn't love black women?
They act hurt. Black
No,
men act hurt to
no,
me.
no, 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 no. I asked you a question. Answer the question
Okay,
first.
give it to me again, please. I'm
Eh,
sorry.
This, okay, that's what I'm saying. Okay, um, listen to what I'm saying. Do I need to say it slower?
I'm focused. I'm focused.
Thank you. Okay, if they didn't, would they be hurt if they didn't love or like black women?
Would they be hurt? Yeah, they would be hurt.
So what are you hearing? So if a woman was dog run through the ringer, dogged out by black men, and she spits out all this vile, what would you say about black men?
Say that one more time.
If a woman was hurt by black men, run through the ringer by black men, disparaged by black men, and she comes out with all this bit and vile about black men, what would you say about her?
I say she's hurt and she cares.
She hurts and she cares. But when black men do the same thing, it's what?
That y'all are demonizing Black women.
So in other words, why is it okay for Keisha, but not but not okay for Pookie?
Okay.
I'm asking.
You got a point. What else can I
No,
say?
no, no. Well, answer my point. Why do you think that is? No, I asked you a question. I don't want to make a point. I'm asking a question,
It shouldn't be
and I want
it
an
shouldn't
answer.
be you're right. It should not right, but the answer is it shouldn't be a difference. If she's hurt and he's hurt, then they're both equally hurt, and
Equally hurt.
it wouldn't be one
Okay.
over the other. It's different.
Okay.
No, it's not different.
Okay. So in other words, and now this is the whole thing about the goddamn table, right? The table shit, right? Which is comes back to that, right? Okay. Do you have children?
I have one kid,
You have one kid. How old's the child?
7
Basically.
girl.
Huh? 7? Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Like I said, my oldest grandson, he'll be 11 in a couple of months. Okay. So I've been through this many times, right?
Okay.
How did you train your child not to touch a hot stove?
Uh, Telling her over and over again in different ways what'll happen if you do.
And did she touch it eventually?
She hasn't done it yet, but I know she will at some point.
Okay. So in other words, she probably already has. You just didn't see it. But in other words, most kids, most children, okay, don't learn about the hot stove being hot until they do what? Until they touch it. All right.
Yeah, learn by
Most
experience.
long bear experience. And most guys, even though they're hurt, they still believe I'm going to find the one. They don't believe that black women are the way they are. Okay. Until they hear it come out of black women's mouths. That's
Okay,
why black women.
BTS.
Can I finish? So if it's
Okay,
okay.
I'll wait till the end.
Okay. So in other words, basically, until black women they actually hear they come out of black women's mouths the way they really are, black men will not really accept it.
Okay.
And if I've told any lie about black women, point it out to me.
I just would like more clarity when you say the way they are. Descriptors. the way they are? What is the
Oh,
way they are?
okay. Number one, okay, just what you said. Most uh, black women carry, and that's what me and Kevin actually agreed upon. Okay, because of our experience, they carry a low level contempt and hatred of their men. In all the literature, in their books, in the way they treat them, in their family life. Okay, I noticed that even in my family. Okay, my mother's 85. Okay, when I was a kid, I noticed that about her angst that she had with my father. Okay, I noticed that with my relationship with all my women. Okay, same stuff. I dated nothing but black women. I always ask why. That's number one. Number two, okay, black women want the gynocracy. Black women have been trained to be in charge and have their way with their men. Okay, uh, in fact, we call it mommying. Okay, and I've seen this, and I've seen this at work. They had 30 guys in the break area having a good time. One black woman come in and start wagging her finger, okay, because she expects all those men to kowtow to her because she's been trained that way. That's number two. And number three, okay, black women, and they've even said this in multiple occasions. You even been recorded saying this, right? They won't admit it all the time. But the thing is, black women really want to be in charge of the relationship. Okay, they really do. Black women believe they run the family, they run the relationship, and not the opposite. And they believe that black men need to come and serve them, and not serve the man. That's why Dr. Johnson calls them ConcuServes. He didn't believe it until he actually started observing it, okay, and started reading the literature, and we start pointing it out. You know, black men, that's like a black men can go any place else in the world and be okay. It's because we're trained to serve our women. And that's a hard concept for black men to actually understand until they start examining themselves, because that's an expectation of ADOS black men is for their men to actually serve them with sex, with resources, with protection, okay, uh, with emotional labor. You got to listen to me and not say shit, even to the point where we just had this thing with Themis and Thoth, where black mothers have to teach black men not to hit women back and let them be as abusive as they want to be because they're in charge. They have to get it out. Okay. That doesn't exist anyplace else in the world. That's why even Umar Johnson said the same thing, right? He says if black women go any place else in the world to Africa, you can't carry the ADOS mentality with you because they don't play that stuff over there. And what did the guys say? They said, why do we have to play it over here? It's because that's how you've been socialized. And for one thing that my mentor, she told me this, God, it's got to be 10 years ago, 12 years ago. Black men and women are actually in reverse order to nature. In fact, all the stats for black men and women are actually reversed from everybody else, almost down to the tittle. Education, not wealth is different, but education, marriage, divorce, number of children. Okay, men, men that don't have children versus women that do have children. It's reversed. It's completely upside down compared to everybody else.
Okay.
And men don't believe that. Okay, until you start showing the stats, the data, statistics, and actually have it coming out of women's mouths, and then compare it to everybody else, not just black people here, but black people on the continent. Okay, that's why Mark Meeks Africa said 7 women went over there to get married. Okay, and married Tanzanian men. They all got slapped. Why? They were expecting the same behavior out of their husbands that they get over here in the United States.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine. Yeah, I had an ex-husband. He slapped me, and yeah, he didn't do that again, but he tried it. So yeah, that's true. They have different
It
expectations.
had different expectations, right? But the thing is, and that's the problem. I always try to point it out to black women. Black women think they have the worst man. Okay, they have the worst man. They have the worst man on the planet. They really believe that. You hear it in their mouths, right? Okay, and what other women tell them that you have the best man, but they don't believe it. and that's an impasse, and that's something that's been trained into the women. You heard that these are 12-year-old girls saying the same stuff they've been saying for the last 100 years. I heard my grandmother died in 2010. She was 95. Okay, she's 95. I used to sit at my grandmother's feet all the time, right, and listen to her stories. She told the same stories that we tell today. It's not new. But the thing is, I had to get black men to actually see black women for what they really are and accept them for what they really are if they want them. If you want them, this is who
Yeah.
she is. Accept her for who she is. If that's what you want. If you don't, you got to make another choice. But don't come crying to me about what she acts like. Okay, you know who she was. We actually told you, pointed out, went to historical data, uh, historical stories, showed stats, data, and stats. It's who she is. Stop expecting to be something that she's not. The only thing I ask of black women is if you want better men, you have to do something different. Stop complaining about the men if you don't treat them better, if you don't
Okay.
educate them better, if you don't actually give them opportunity. Because trust and believe, a Jewish woman will not allow you to actually abuse her son or mistrain her son or set her son back. A Jewish woman will not allow her son to be in special needs, okay, or special
Mhm.
education. They would not stand for it at all. White women will not stand for it, but black women do because that's what they believe about the men.
Well, I hear everything you're saying, and I see a lot of parts of what you're saying about black women. I'm just processing women I went to college with, people I know, people I've worked with. I see a lot of what you're saying. There's
Okay.
still a portion of Black American women who are not like that, and I don't know if you
Okay.
ever acknowledge
Oh,
that.
okay. Oh, okay. What portion are? Give me a percentage. We always ask because Edward says
Oh, nice, Edward.
Edward actually he's generous. He says 30%. What do you say? What percentage would say are not like that?
I would say about 30%.
Okay.
I
So
would
you
say
and Edward actually
25,
agree.
25, 30, 25, 30.
You would agree. It was more like 10, but you would agree with Edward.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm being honest with you. I think that that's going to probably have something to do more with social class. And the reason why I say that is because the women who won't be like that
Hmm.
are going to be women who have grown up generationally with multiple men in the family, maybe stronger men in the family, and they have a real solid family structure. And so I would say it's probably going to be more like, and when I say class, I'm not talking about necessarily money, but more of like a class
You talking about
mindset,
you
socioeconomic.
talking about the bourgeoisie?
I don't know if I would call them bourgeoisie. I think just solid, multi-generational, black middle class, upper middle class, black America. I know I
Okay.
don't see the dysfunction that you all are seeing in that class. I don't see that.
Well, I talk to upper middle class guys all the time, and it's there.
I'm not saying it's not there. I'm just if they're looking for women who, that's the thing too. If men are looking for women who have a father, that's number one. And then the question is, can we blame women when they didn't have a father? So
You,
we're
you
demonizing women who didn't have a father for whatever reason. It's not
it
their fault
it
necessarily.
it started happening when 90% of the black people are actually married and they did have fathers. It was still there.
But right now, a lot of girls don't have a father, and their mama didn't have a father. So that's what I'm
Hmm.
talking about right now.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
how do we demonize or ridicule or shame black women who literally they would have done differently maybe? And I'm not saying what you guys say is right. I'm just saying that some of the
Uh,
behaviors that you say where it's like women who want to be in control. I grew up with a father. I watch him and I do it with my own daughter. Make sure that she sees her father pay for stuff. And for some, I just want to address this real quick, BGS in the chat, because you have some rude people who are not
okay.
showing much class. I am not a baby
Don't
mama.
stop. Don't look at the chat. Okay.
I'm not a baby mama. I just want
That's
to be
hey. Don't look at the chat. You're talking
okay.
to me. In
Okay.
fact, you don't need to. You're on stream. Right? You don't need to look at the chat.
I only looked at it once, and I saw somebody ask, "Was my
No.
baby daddy black or a white or a
Uh,
Chinese or something?"
did your father share how to follow orders or commands?
My dad's military. Yeah, of course.
Okay. I just gave you an order. Don't look at the chat.
I'm not
Ain't
looking
no
at it.
ain't no buts. Okay. Why you give me a butt? You're
I said I'm
talking to
not
me.
looking at it.
Thank you.
I'm not looking at it. But just to say it, my husband, I make sure that, the same way my mom did. We make major purchases and stuff like that. I always make sure that my daughter sees my husband as the one who is paying for stuff. I do that intentionally. because I want her to understand what a provider is. When she wants stuff, I can buy it for. I got my own cards and stuff. I say, ask your dad. You know, I create the order that my parents gave to me about what a father is and his importance and what he
Mm-hmm.
says goes and stuff like that. I'm a very traditional woman. And so I think that's the same thing with Sun Kids. She's a traditional woman. I'm a former
Mm-hmm.
teacher, and I taught a lot of at-risk kids. And I'll be honest with you that the boys are suffering. I did my undergrad studies and graduate studies
Mm-hmm.
on
Mm-hmm.
how the school system miseducates and mistreats Black males. That's what I did all of it on.
Mm-hmm.
And they said by the time they're in third grade, it's the way that teachers, these white
Mm-hmm.
90% teachers, the difference that makes the difference, and how they're
Mm-hmm.
socializing them and discouraging them from school. So
So
I
so
have all. Go
so
ahead. I'm
so
sorry.
so what is the best remedy for Black boys in this system?
I think to be taught by men in
Mm-hmm.
schools. That would be my.
Separate boys, separate schools for boys, right? Taught
That's
by
what
men.
statistics and studies show.
And
Absolutely,
so
Black males, Black males.
do Black women believe in that
The
as a
public
whole?
school education system doesn't even offer that as an
No, no,
option
no, no,
for
no, no.
them.
I didn't. That's not the question I asked. Do Black women believe in that in mass?
They don't because they probably don't believe it's an option.
Mm, okay. Do okay. So in other words, educated women like you do actually go out and teach Black women that this needs to happen.
Can you say it again?
Do educated women like you teach Black women that this needs to happen?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. A lot of us that are in the level that I was on in education and in education leadership, I actually did research, live active research, and I instituted a mentoring program. And I have been doing mentoring programs for male and female because it shows statistically, particularly that it benefits Black males, and that was part of my research towards my thesis.
Have Black women push for separate Black male education because
No, they
that's
have
yeah.
not.
So
On
why
a
so
mass, no,
so why haven't they?
because Black men are not seen as the priority because it's working for Black women.
Bingo. How do you fix that?
I see your point.
Now, okay, you see my point. How you fix it?
See, you you're taking me deep. You're taking me deep again.
This is where you wanted to go, is it not?
I did.
You
I'm
question
regretting it.
you question my abilities, did you not?
I'm not questioning your ability. I just
No,
don't
no, no, no,
understand.
no, no, no. You questioned my abilities, did you not? Be honest about me. Be honest.
I was perceiving you as an angry old man who's trying to discourage younger men. That's how I was perceiving
Did
you.
so now, did you question my abilities, did you not?
Yeah,
Okay. Question my abilities as you talk to women, did you not?
yeah,
Okay. But I'm talking to you, right?
yeah.
Is there a problem?
No,
Okay. I deserve an apology, do I not? That's hard for a Black one, but I want one.
you know what? I was trolling and I said a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. About my dick not working? Yeah,
Oh
I heard about
wow,
that.
come on. Why you gotta?
If I said your pussy didn't work, what would you
Oh
say? Hmm? Would that hurt you? Or is that
no, because
something
you know I'm
kind to
troll
say?
BTS. I don't know you. You know I'm just trolling and talking junk.
So if
You
I
know I
trolled
am.
you and said that about you, would you be nice to me?
I be feeling some kind of way.
Okay. But I'm a man, I can take it, right?
You deserve an apology, BGS.
Okay.
You
Where's my
deserve an
apology?
apology because
Where's my
I was
apology?
trolling and
Mm,
being immature
mm-hmm.
and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm gonna apologize and then I'm gonna ask a request of you.
Okay.
And they're not tied to each other. Your apology is well earned, and I'm gonna confess what I did. I was talking junk, and I
Mm-hmm.
made all kind of sly comments and
Mm-hmm.
criticisms. I
Mm-hmm.
did it. I'm guilty. I apologize to you for what I said. I do
Mm-hmm.
not know you, and I don't know anything about you, and I can't validate nothing I said. So I
Mm-hmm.
apologize to you for what I said.
Okay. Well, the question I want to ask, why me? What did I do to you?
Again, I still feel like I don't. What you did to me is you insult me as a. I feel insulted by you, as a
Why?
black woman, as a black
Why?
woman, because I feel like you're demonizing and putting all black women into a perilous situation by antagonizing and pushing forth a agenda or a narrative that black women are against black men and trying to do black men in and we're the enemy. That bothers me.
So, and I didn't. It was what makes you believe that?
It's the people you're around and the
No,
stuff
no,
you've
no, no, no,
interned.
no, 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 no. People I'm around doesn't mean anything. Me personally, you pick on them. What did I say?
You promote obsidian.
Me and Cindy don't get along,
I can't tell.
but we're part of the black manosphere, and some things we do actually align with.
Well, he antagonizes black women constantly and demonizes black women.
Go say Obsidian's dick doesn't work.
He's blocked me already. I tried to talk to
Yeah,
him,
but
but
but but thing is, you went to Edward's channel. How can you bring up Obsidian? His dick doesn't work. What did I say? What did I say? That was negative.
well, I mean, like I said, there's a constant, you know, conversation that you have,
Mm-hmm.
and I've heard it. I mean, I've heard it. You
Like what?
know, black women need to come to the table, and you know that you're gonna run this what is it? This
Ex-
game or this
no,
play
no,
just to
and
prove that we're not worthy to be at the
no,
table
no,
or to prove that we're going to fail them and all this type of stuff.
what the thing is, okay, what was your assessment of black women and black men coming together? What was your assessment? You just said it, what, like 20 minutes ago. Your assessment is what about black men and women?
Well, generally, I just tell you now straight up, I believe that those who it's natural for and it's supposed to work out for, and they understand order and function in marriage, those people will do this naturally without any struggle or problem. And it's those other percentages, that other 70%, they just need to let it go and stop demonizing each other. I don't play into the male
And,
female
in
I don't
in
do
other
that.
words, you don't believe that it's going to work or last, right? Do you? But the thing is, how many women, how many men and women actually still believe in it?
I don't believe what's going to work or last.
Well, so how many black men and women still believe in it? Especially black men still believe in that.
I told you, I think about 30% is going to be functional,
No,
not
no,
just
no, no, no.
believe they're going
That's
to
not
do
the
it.
question I made. Listen to what the question that I'm
Okay.
asking.
All right.
How many black men, percent of black men still believe in that though?
What percentage of black men do I think believe
Still
that
believe that it can be saved. It is functional. They can actually do enough or talk to women enough.
80%? I think
80%,
80%.
80%. So how do you get them not to believe that? If what's true is the opposite.
I think that's something they're going to have to come to on a conclusion of their own. They're going to
How
have
did
to just,
how do they do that unless they experience it on their own, right?
no, sir. No, sir.
How do
They
they
already know at this age. A lot of these guys are already older and they already know that it's not working out for them.
how do you know? Do you talk to them?
They are. They already
How,
understand that
how
it's
do
not
you
easy for them.
how do you know if you don't talk to them?
BGS, those who want to get married, I'm telling you, I'm gonna use the Mexican culture for example. At
Oh,
19-year-old,
mm-hmm,
let me just show you. I lived
mm-hmm.
around Mexicans shortly.
Okay,
19-year-old
where did you
Mexican
live?
guy.
Where do you live?
I was living on Buford Highway, which is an area that was Mexican
Guess
before.
where I live?
Where?
I live in Los Angeles. Guess what the percentage of Latinos is in Los Angeles?
Very high.
60%.
Okay.
Guess who my son is has two babies by is married to right now?
Latino.
Latina, right? I know what I already know what you're getting ready to go. But go ahead. Tell me what I don't know.
Okay, in their culture, what I see, I'm gonna keep it brief. I
Mm-hmm.
see a 19-year-old, 20-year-old guy gets his job. I
Mm-hmm.
see a 18-year-old, 19-year-old girl. The two of them date very shortly, have a courtship between their family. They get
Mm-hmm.
married. Next year or two, they have children. They do their thing. They have a family, and they keep it moving. And all I'm
Okay.
telling you is it's just that simple for certain black people. At least 20, 30% of black people is just that simple. And maybe, just maybe, because of the modern era and all this stuff that's going on, only 20 to 5, 30% of black
No,
people are
it
going to
won't be that high.
experience that. And the rest have to accept that it's not going to happen for them.
It won't be that high. It'd be more like 10%.
Say what?
It'll be more like 10%.
Okay, it's going to be rare. It's going to be rare. Let's
It's gonna
accept
be
it.
rich. What's the difference between Latino culture and black culture?
A whole lot.
Okay, the whole lot means that the whole lot means what? You're educated. Come on.
Okay, if you want to name it, that's going to be the structure. Well, the way that people are either educated or not educated by sex. It's going to
Okay,
be
educated.
also how much do people make, who's making the money, who's bringing it home, how it's
Okay.
spent, who's in charge, what their values are, what they want to establish. Do they work together or separate? Those kind of things.
Have you ever been down to a Latino country?
Yeah, many,
Huh?
many,
How?
but I can't say I've seen their families up close.
So in other words, you on like on vacation
Yeah,
or a
right.
week or so? Or
Mm-hmm.
I spent like 3 months down in Guatemala. Okay, I
Okay.
saw them. I didn't live in the big city. I lived in a small town, right? A smaller, right outside the city. Okay, I saw them. I saw the 10 shacks. Okay, I saw the male and the females and how they interact. I see how the women are actually made. Okay, first, and also the males are made, right? It's called culture. It's called training. A wife start training a wife at 3, not at 30. What that used to be the case with my mother, because I talked to my mother, I talked to my aunts, okay? Talked to
Okay.
my grandmother, okay? There's a certain way they were trained, even though they didn't like you, okay? Necessarily, okay? But they're trained that marriage was more important, right? They no longer do that. It's not on that not just for black people, it's also white people. Latinas that are actually past the third generation start acting just like all other Americans, the same shit. What's the out of wedlock birth rate for Latinas now?
I don't know. I have no idea.
65%.
Okay.
Where do you think that comes from?
Modernization.
Modernization. Okay. Like you spit toward Edward that you used that I know that you learned from me. Okay. Because nobody else talks about it that way.
Okay.
But the thing is,
Okay.
okay. But my dick don't get hard. I'm
Will
against
you
black
please
women.
stop? Will you please don't keep saying that?
Why you said it? So
I
it
was
can't
just
be.
trolling. I was
It
just
can't. No, no.
trolling.
But it can't be a bad word since you came out of your mouth, right? Unless you got a bar of soap, right?
I was just trolling.
Okay.
But that okay, so fine. And then you look at Brazil, and see that's another thing. Them passport bros, they do. Oh, they're so much better than this, and there's so much, and they go down there and they got just as fat women, and they got just as many baby mamas and birth rates and
Hmm.
stuff. I
Hmm.
just need y'all to keep it real, and that's what I was gonna say to you. I think you are a healer, deep down inside.
Uh huh.
That's your nature. You're a healer, and I just
Okay.
say heal the man.
Let's stick with one point at a time. Brazil. What's the
Okay,
difference between Brazilian women and Latin American women versus American women? What's the biggest difference in a relationship?
I don't know. I
Their
don't honestly
culture.
know.
They're trained to be wives. Okay. They're still trained to be wives.
But why are they so many baby mamas then?
Hmm.
They got a high out of wedlock. Why is that if they're trained to be
It
wives?
there's a couple of reasons, right? One is because marriage, as the man said, right, is how to arrange women to actually be able to take care of their children. Okay, if women don't need a man to take care of their children, they probably won't marry, but they still have a tight knit family. But the thing is, even though they're starting to be modernized, their culture hasn't caught up yet. They're still trained to be wives compared to ours.
See, I disagree
Okay.
with that because if you say somebody's trained to be a wife, that would be the first thing. The first and foremost thing is that you would understand that you don't have children except with your husband. So how can you say somebody is trained culturally to be a wife and they're in Brazil having children at a what 55, 65% out of wedlock? I don't buy that. That
So,
doesn't even add up.
oh, you don't have to. But the thing is, you don't buy that. But the thing is, you have nothing to back it up. But the guys down there that go
Them
down there,
numbers.
the guys down there that interact with these women, that do marry these women, have a different experience than with American women.
So you don't think that wives are going to say, I'm going to have children with my husband and my husband. That's not being trained as a wife.
That's not, does having a kid if within wedlock is the only thing that wives do.
It's a big part of being a wife, in my opinion. A traditional wife, a
Is
true
it the
traditional
only?
wife.
Is it your teacher?
Of course,
Listen
it's
to
not
my.
the
I
only
do.
thing, but it's a very big one.
Well then answer my question as I stated. You're a teacher, right? Would you
Yeah.
allow your student to actually run over your question? Did you ask them?
Okay, ask me the question.
Oh, so you didn't hear it the first time.
I didn't.
Is you didn't? You don't. they teach you to also listen as well as talk, right? So,
Yeah.
in other words, is having a child within wedlock the only thing that the wives are trained to do?
Oh, I answered that. I said no, it's not, but it's very important.
It's important, but it's not the only thing. So, what are the other functions that the wives are trained to do?
Wives are trained to manage a household. Wives are trained
Hmm.
to um manage all the parts of the household, the nutrition, making sure the children are taken care of,
How
navigating
about
them going to
how about
school.
the relationship with the man?
Yeah, yeah. Working hand in hand, collaborating with
Hmm.
whatever the family plan and the family goals are.
And also how even back then how black wives are trained versus how Latinas and Latin American wives are trained, African wives are trained is different. Even back 100 years ago.
Hmm.
What's your name? Their eyes are watching God. She said something that everybody still says. Who are the two freest people in America?
Who are the what?
Who are two freest people in America? Groups of
Oh, who
people
are
in
the two of
America.
the freest people in
Freest
America?
in America. She
Um,
said it in 1930. What'd she say?
I'm gonna guess she's gonna say white men and black women. I'm gonna guess.
Oh, she did. Why she say that? What did she say the reason was?
I guess culturally they're the leadership
They do what they
in their own
want.
community.
They do what they want. They're independent. Black women have always been independent of their men. Independent of their men, and they actually, and basically, in fact, Fraser talked about right after emancipation. Okay, the spirit of independence was actually still there, and still by slave masters' household. It's still
So-
there.
Okay, so it sounds to me like the issue is that patriarchy is the goal, and at least in what you're saying, and it's backwards in our community. You're saying there's a matriarchy, and therefore there's a backwardness about the women. And I'm asking, and that's what I want to ask you. You gave me a rundown of the issues of the black woman. I would love for you to just please say, what do you think are the issues of the black man?
The issues of the black man. Okay, and this is just inside the relationship, right? Number
Mm.
one. Okay,
No, not inside the relationship. I'm talking about as a whole in culture as black men, where are black
in
men falling
America, in
short
America,
in America,
basically,
where are black men
black
falling short?
black men have to realize that they're the permanent underclass of America, not only by the white men but also by the women. You're designated the permanent underclass, the servant of the whole structure. You're actually there to be stepped on and used for resources, sex, whatever. The way a white woman sees a black man, the same way that a black woman sees a black man, for sex and resources and worship.
May I ask, all black men or certain class of black men?
Uh, um, all black men. In fact, Judge Joe Brown says you don't get respect at 8 figures, much less 5 figures. Ask Brittany Renner when she actually tried to marry P.J. Washington. All right, how she looked at him. Look how they're going in on Zion Williamson. Look how what's her name? Aisha Curry looks at her husband, and that's very common. Look how Cookie looked at Magic.
Have,
Look how Shaq's wife, Shawnee, looked at him. Look how I'll give you one good example, right? What is the highest office in the land of America? The highest that a black man can attain?
a black who?
Huh?
You said a black woman or a black
What
man?
a black man can attain in America? What's the highest
Highest
position?
office would, I guess you would say, the presidency.
President of the United States. Does it really look like Michelle Obama defers to Barack?
Yeah.
All right.
She did not. No, she didn't. She no in no way did she upstage. She did not. She did not upstage that man at any point.
Come on,
Okay,
May.
hold on, brother.
May,
Real
come
quick.
on.
Let's keep it
Come on,
real. Let's
May.
keep it real.
Come on, May.
Trump is a hold on. Let's keep it real. He was the president of the United States. His wife told him, "Kiss my ass. I'm not coming till I feel like it. I have a different agenda. And she embarrassed him because she didn't come for almost what, 6 months. Now, come on. Now, was that not upstaging him, making him look crazy? That's a white male. He's supposed to be the
Michelle
epitome
Obama,
of all power.
Michelle Obama, this is Barack on a regular basis, and he laughs it off. And she says I punch his buttons
See,
just to make him mad.
see, you.
Do I have
I'm disturbed.
do I have to bring out a highlight reel of Michelle Obama and what she said of even before he got to be
You can
president?
find any white woman in
They,
public.
they,
You
they
can
actually
find any white woman
so
in public power, and you could say the same thing. They're
the,
white women. The white women. Look at this. You can't do
okay.
that, brother, because I can go play
I,
for play.
no,
Tiger
you can't.
Woods got a white woman who took a
Mm-hmm.
golf club and beat his behind and made him
Mm-hmm.
wreck his own car. Then
Mm-hmm.
she took half his money. I can go along a whole
She didn't
line of
take
white
she
women
didn't take
that have
half. She got
taught y'all black men who y'all really are to them.
she didn't take half. She got what she's supposed to get. It's called a prenup.
Oh,
But the thing is, they used to chastise Michelle Obama about how she spoke about the president's office.
and then you have a white woman right
No, no,
now
no,
who has
no, no.
moved into to Tiger Woods' home, and she telling him, "I'm not leaving."
Okay, the highest office. They used to chastise her about how she spoke about the president. Okay, and she said she said she actually going to do what she wants to do. She said that.
I gotta see these quotes. I don't buy it. I gotta see these quotes.
Well, then you haven't been observing, sweetie. You see what you want to see.
I see white women do the same type of stuff. I mean, the white woman with the guy, I'm not saying now these not presidents, but I'm just saying we can see in popular culture, white women are no better in their behavior than black women are. Let's keep it real. What it is though is white women do a trade-off, okay? That's what they
Hmm.
do better than black
Hmm.
women. They
Okay.
do a trade-off. They know who they can be. That's why they
Okay.
become monsters once they realize the deal is done. They become total monsters to men.
Hmm.
That must have
Hmm.
been there all along. Sisters are more sincere. We show you the monster that we are
Up front,
beforehand.
up front,
That's
up
right.
front.
That's right.
I asked this. I asked this about Concrete Rose. I mean, she actually had to admit this, right? Because she went to a
Okay.
mixed school, right? Okay.
Hmm.
I said, "What's the difference between black men dating white women versus black women dating black women?" She said, "Oh, they would give them their credit cards, let them use their car, kiss their ass, blah blah blah." And guess what she said? I said, "How come you didn't do it?" I ain't doing that for them Negroes. I don't do that. I'm black. I don't do that kind of stuff. Right up
Yeah,
front.
that's the code. That's the code. She's correct.
That's the code. In other words, that's the opposite code, is it not?
It's the opposite. Yeah.
The Latinas, Poppy, what you want, Poppy? I'm gonna cook for you, Poppy. Blah blah blah. Right. So, come my son dates Latinas rather than black women. Okay. His mother is dark as the ace of spades. Okay. He dates Latinas. Why does he do that? It's not how they look, how they act.
Okay, to our credit, I think that you know we gotta say there's some assets here. Black women are sincere and we're honest. A lot of women, a lot of cultures are not honest and they're not sincere.
Okay.
And I'm gonna just give you, for example, you
Go
got the
go ahead. Go
passport
ahead.
bros. The passport bros are going
Mm-hmm.
over to Asia and getting them
Mm-hmm.
Filipinas and all these different people,
Mm-hmm.
and they are
Mm-hmm.
getting finessed and coming home broke and heartbroken. They're
Okay.
going down to Brazil and getting drugged and all that stuff. So a lot of women put on a facade and they fool men. Now, I want to just say this one sister named Ashira 7.
Oh God!
She's actually
Don't even
doing what you're talking.
don't bring her up. Okay, don't even bring her up because
I
Shira
don't want to
Seven.
bring her
Oh,
up.
no, no,
I
no,
just
no,
want
no.
to.
Shira Seven is full of shit. Okay,
She's
but go ahead,
giving
bring her up.
you guys what you say
No,
you want, which is black women to act and not be real. She's teaching black women how to do that,
okay, okay,
to put on
okay.
the facade like white women do to get the bag. But we are so honest as black women. We say,
Hmm.
listen, I am in charge. I am in control. Blah blah blah. I'm not talking about me. I'm just saying in general. We say, I
Hmm.
do want to be the boss. I
And
don't
you
want
be-
to be bossed around.
and,
That's
and you
true.
be- and you believe that, but I have tons of guys that have guys that are over there right now. Okay, in one in Ghana. Okay, got a couple in Kenya right now. I got. Got a couple of guys in Uganda. Got about 4 or 5 guys in Tanzania. Got a couple of guys in South Africa. I got one guy that's still down in Guatemala.
So
Okay,
you think
I was
women's
down.
nature is not the same over there? Is that what you're saying?
It's how they're trained. It has nothing to do with nature. How they're trained.
How they pretend? I got you.
No, no, no. Now how they pretend. See, there you go. Put words in my mouth.
I'm
Okay.
telling you what it is. They're
No,
gonna
no.
pretend.
Were you down there for three
Bring them
months?
to America
Were
and
you
see how
were
long
you
it
down
takes
there
for
for
them to
three?
switch.
Where do I live, May?
Bring
I
them
live in
to
Los Angeles
America.
with Guatemala, with Guatemalans, Mexicans, Nicaraguans, okay, with Colombians in the United States. They're here, right? My son dates them, right? He dates them. He's got one ready. There's a difference between them and you guys.
Well, I'm telling
I
you that
see
if you bring them here and you give them the same opportunity, you're gonna get the same
they.
woman. Our nature
His
doesn't
wife,
change, sir.
his wife right now has a bachelor's degree in finance. Okay,
She might be an
she's edu-
exception to the rule,
and
brother, but
she's
I'm
not
just
a she.
telling you.
May. I live around these women. They're different. They're not trained like you guys. That's why I
Okay.
know.
Okay.
I'm not talking about shit I believe or read. I see this shit. I've seen this shit coming up from the time I was in high school. I've been around them. They're different. They're trained differently. I talk to them. In fact, I always give this example, like a liquor store where I actually buy my lotto tickets, right?
Okay.
Latina girl, right? Just had a baby. Okay. I said, first year uh, 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 birthday present. What did she get her? What do you think it was? You here? You here with me? May, are you gone?
No, I'm right here. I put it on
Okay.
mute.
Okay. A tea set, right? So I
Okay.
said, that's interesting. Why she's a year old? Why you get her a tea set? She has to learn how to set the table. I said, why is that? She has to learn how to be a wife at 1 years old, and she's like third generation Latina. Tan, who's been in my who's a new sub of mine, right? In Fontana, in which is right outside of Los Angeles, right? Married to a Latina. He's dated black women, married to a Latina, right? And she's third generation
Okay.
Latina.
Uh-huh.
And he talks about how more traditional she is, how more cooperative she is. It's very common. It's how they're trained. Black women are not trained that way.
Okay, you're right. BGS.
So,
Okay,
so
you're
let
right.
me get to my point about why I believe if there's going to be a gynocracy, it's got to work for everybody, right? There should not be boys. The 80% of boys that read at below uh, uh, eighth grade level. It's going to work for. It's going to work. You guys are going to be in charge. Take charge and admit it that we're in charge and make it work for everybody. Accept responsibility for how the culture is. If you're going to lead it, lead it. Like uh, Aya Coca said, lead, follow, get the fuck out of the way. What you gonna do? If you ain't gonna lead, follow. If you ain't gonna follow, get out of the way and let black men go be happy someplace else. What you gonna do?
I got you.
If black boys can't read, if black men are going to prison, and you women are actually getting law degrees, okay, why does it take a Jewish woman to get them out of prison instead of a black woman? And these are your men, right?
Yeah.
If black women, black boys are going to majority black schools
Mm-hmm.
with black female teachers, how come they can't read a grade level?
Yeah, it's a systemic thing, honestly. BGS, you are a very intelligent man,
Thank
and
you.
you are, and the thing that I just feel like there's this gap where you have this space where you just holding all black women responsible completely, and you're not seeing systemic thing like what you just said, brother. You just said,
Are you leading the culture? Are you the backbone of the family? Do you guys want to be in charge?
I think that you got to look at black women as independent and
That's not
not
the
a
question. That's not the
family.
question. That's the question
Well,
I
you're
asked
making the
you.
question difficult because you're trying to say in
No,
charge
no,
of the
no, no.
family.
No.
I'm the kind of woman I don't
No,
see
no.
a family
I don't
until
care
I
what
have a
kind of woman.
husband. So you're
I don't
asking
care.
me a
Well,
crazy
I don't
question.
care what kind of woman you are. Okay.
You're asking me, can I lead a family when I
No,
don't
no, no,
believe
no.
that I
I'm
can lead a
asking.
family? So I
As a
don't.
group. As a group, do you guys want to be in charge?
These questions are really skewed.
No, they're not skewed. They're very simple.
As a whole, I can't. That's why I tell you, we're not all the same, BGS. And you keep
No,
trying to pigeonhole all black
no,
women
no.
thinking the same. We don't think the same. We don't think the same.
Teachers deal in generalities all the time. Otherwise, you couldn't teach.
Well, I'm just telling you, I can't speak on behalf of
Yeah.
all black women and say, yes, we all want to be in charge. We want to run our own families and we want to do this and that. I do see evidence that that's happening already with some particular portions of our culture. Yeah.
So where should the resources go if you want men to be in charge?
Where should the resources go?
Yeah.
For those black women who do see the value of having black men rise above their station.
It's not the question I asked. We're talking about.
See, that's what I'm saying. Your questions
wait,
are
no. I'm talking about a cultural solution, not an individual solution. Cultural, because it has to be policy. Okay. So if you want
black men, implement such a policy on a whole culture, who's going to do that, though?
Jewish people do it all the time. Okay. If you want black men to be in charge, where should the resources that you go?
Because we don't have the infrastructure
No,
in our culture. You're doing a hypothetical. That's not even realistic.
It is a hypothetical. It's supposed to be a hypothetical. Okay.
Well, it can't work because we don't have the institutions or the power or the money.
I'm asking you what you think.
We can't even get a civil rights.
And that's not what I asked you.
For basic voting rights.
Stop being defensive.
I'm not being defensive.
Yes, you are. You're being defensive. Answer my question.
I can't answer a question.
Yes, you can answer my question. Stop being defensive.
You're asking me to explain.
You're opinionated about everything else. You're opinionated about everything else. Give me my answer.
Okay, let me do a hypothetical in a perfect world where all black women wanted black men to lead. Let me do that.
Thank you.
Since we're doing okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's going to have to be something that's not really in touch with reality.
It doesn't matter. Give me my answer.
Okay, I'll give you the answer. That's easy if we're going to just make up something and do a hypothetical.
So what hypothetical is made up, right?
Well, yeah, it's got to be otherworldly in this case because it's not.
There has to be other cultures do it all the time. But go ahead, give me my answer.
Well, in our culture, we would have a big difference of what the current situation and reality is. To say
what is that?
But I'll answer the
big difference.
I'll answer the question. The answer would be that we would have to make sure that males are given a father from birth.
No. It's not a question I asked you.
That has to be legislated.
No. That's not a question I asked you. Okay.
That's where it began.
And what was my question?
I can go to school and say school.
Don't make up a question. Answer my question.
Your question.
No, you're not. No, you're not answering my question.
So just tell me what the answer is then, since my question is not going to be answered.
In other words, if you want boys to lead, you have to put the resources into the boys first, and not second.
Okay, resources. What is that? A father?
Money? No. Even without a father.
I taught kids where they got a lot of funding at the school, but they didn't have no daddy.
Stop over talking me. Get back into your feminine, okay? Get back into your feminine. Get out of your masculine. Okay. Resources, right? They do this with single mothers. Okay. Education.
Let me be honest.
I'm talking.
I just need to say what I'm feeling right now.
No, I don't. You can tell me. I don't want to hear about feel. Okay. You told me to answer it. Okay.
I'm feeling frustrated.
Okay. That's you because you can't have your way. That's why.
No, I'm feeling frustrated because you want me to answer a particular way. You don't want me to
No, I'm answering the question, not you.
Okay.
Am I not?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Because you want to answer it. I'm answering it for you, right? Resources, right? Money, education, okay? Programs, right? Instead of the 90% of the programs actually for girls instead of for boys. 90% of your grants for girls, not for boys. Okay. 90% of your education resources for girls, not for boys. Focus on the boys. Focus on the men. Focus on the men first. What do they need first?
Well, let me ask you this. Why are white men not having this problem since they're under the same educational system, same funding that you're talking about? Why is it that white men are not having the same exact problem growing up in the same environment with the same school district? I just want to understand that. The funding and all that stuff you're talking about.
Have you looked? You're a teacher, right?
We were talking about one isolated thing.
No. You're a teacher, right? Do you look at the stats? The current stats. Do
Well, I
you?
haven't looked at the current stats lately. No, I haven't
When
looked
was
at
the
them
last
lately.
time you looked at stats?
Women are definitely outperforming men as far as education.
Ah, on the college campuses, it's up to 70% female, right?
Yeah,
That's white, right? Boys are failing, right?
except Asians. I think
No, no,
Asians
no,
are the
no, 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 no,
exception.
no, no. Hold
Asians
on
are
a
the
second.
exception.
Who's the majority of population in this country? You asked about
White,
white. You asked about white people, right?
right?
Didn't you?
Yeah.
Did you ask about Asian?
No.
Okay. There's a book called by Richard Reeves called of Boys and Men, right? Just came out about a year and a half ago by Richard Reeves, right? Read it, okay? Boys are failing. In fact, the white women actually complaining, but the same shit that you complain about, white women actually complain about the same doggone thing. They're failing, okay?
Okay.
So it took time, but guess what? Most men are failing right now, with the exception of Asians. Why are Asian men not failing? Why do you think that is?
That's a good question. I stereotypically want to say that they're really, really super smart and determined, like die hard, but I don't know.
Where do Asian people pour their resources into? The males or the females?
Oh, definitely men.
Males. Okay. Guess what? Guess who? Other culture that it doesn't. They're not failing at as far as the culture, the subculture, sub-white culture. Jewish people.
Jewish. I already
Okay.
knew that.
Where where do they pour the resources into? The males or the females?
Males.
Males. Okay. You get the picture.
I get the picture.
Okay. All right. We've been at this for an hour and a half. I know you got stuff to do.
Yeah, I do. BGS, I just say this. I want to just say this in closing. I appreciate you taking time to talk to me. I have more respect for you as an individual as a result of having this conversation with you. I feel like I understand a little bit more. I don't agree with everything, just like I'm sure you don't agree with everything. I think I'm gonna just use what you said before, which is it's a global phenomenon that there's this change because of modernism and feminism. Everybody's going through it. And I
Why?
don't think that we need to demonize black women. That's all I'm saying. That's all I want to say.
If you
Please.
if you do the deed, you can't take the ass whipping. Okay.
But it's not different than any other
No,
culture, though,
no,
BG.
it is different than other cultures. Okay, we proved that. Okay.
Okay.
White women have to take their own ass whipping. They're getting ready to take their own ass whipping. They're already doing it now. Okay. But the thing is, if you're gonna use what I my research as you use it properly, right?
Okay.
Read read tragedy uh 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 um Tragedy and Hope by Carol Quigley. Actually, read the research instead of gleaning off of it and
Okay.
spot using it. Use the whole research. Use it properly if you're going to use it.
Is
Okay.
this coming to the table, BGS?
Is this coming to? Did I explain what the table was?
I'm
Did
talking
I
about this
explain?
right here.
Huh?
I'm talking about this
Partially it
right
is.
here.
Partially it is. Yes. That's why you're over here because you can't get any answers over there.
Okay. And is it a failure?
Huh? Is
Is
it a
this a
failure?
failure? Yeah.
You said it's a failure. He says
I'm
we don't have
asking
any
you, is
hope.
this a failure? I'm asking your opinion.
I don't know. Is it?
No, you tell me. You're the master teacher. Is this a
No, no, no,
failure?
no, no. I said I've given you a lesson. Is it a failure?
Oh.
Well, what do you ask your students when it comes grade time? Right? Did your lesson take or didn't it take? Right? Who's that on? Is it on the teacher or is it on the student?
Well, I guess if the teacher and the student can't agree that they both are more in line, then it's probably not successful.
In other words, if the lesson takes, the student will get a what? A
An
good
A?
grade, right? An A or
Yeah.
a B, right? If the lesson didn't take, what are they going to get?
An F.
An F. So who determines whether the lesson took or not? Is the teacher or is the student?
I think it's both. As we call it teaching and learning. So it's a dance together.
And in other words, how do you know that the lesson did not take? Who's going to actually determine the result?
The teacher evaluates.
No, no, yeah, but I'm saying it's the student how he actually regurgitates that lesson. Did it take?
See, I
If he,
don't know about regurgitates. I
oh,
believe in
in
critical
other words,
thinking as a result, and that's the
in
product.
other
The
words,
product
if
is
my
critical
lesson,
thinking.
if the lesson took to student properly, he's going to get an A, right? If it didn't, he's going to get a what?
An F.
An F. So did the lesson take?
You're the teacher, so you tell me what my grade
No, no,
is.
no, no. I'm asking you.
Ah, the
I'm
teacher is the
asking you.
evaluator, sir.
I don't know. You still don't. I
The
can still hear
teacher is
the
the
doubt.
evaluator.
I can still hear the doubt in your voice. It remains to be seen.
I'm just telling you, the teacher is the evaluator.
Well, I'll keep an eye on you. I'll evaluate you.
Oh, I'm on a longitudinal study. Okay. Okay. Well, this is the thing. This is the last final thing I just want to say. BGS, please understand that a healer heals, and they release people from pain. And I think there's a lot of men who are in pain, and it's hopelessness.
Do you read my emails?
I don't.
You
I
get
don't have them.
my tweets? Okay. How do you know I don't heal men?
I'm just saying what
No,
I'm
no, no,
saying.
no, no.
I'm not
I
saying you
ask you a
don't,
question.
but
I'm asking you a question. How do you know I don't? You're assuming, right? You're making an
there's a
assumption.
lot of anger. There's a lot of
No, no,
anger
no, no,
there,
no, no.
brother.
Listen to
You
me,
got to
May.
acknowledge that there's
May,
anger, a
May,
lot of
May,
anger and angst
May,
with these
May,
men.
May.
A lot.
You're assuming that I don't heal
That's why
men.
you told me don't look in the chat, because you know they're not
May,
going to be nice
May,
men.
May,
They're not going to be
May,
respectful.
May. Stop talking for a second.
Sure.
Impulse control, like you teach your students, right? Impulse control. You don't read my emails or my chats. Let me ask them what they got out of my teaching.
I
Ask
don't
them.
doubt they get stuff out of
No,
your
no, no,
teaching,
no.
BGS. That's
Now
not what
read
I
the
mean.
no. Ask them. Did they get something out of my
They
teaching?
need
No,
healing.
no, 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 no. What is healing to you?
I'm just telling you, like you told
What
me,
what is
I'm gonna
what?
answer. I'm gonna
Thank you,
answer.
thank you.
The
Get to the
answer
point.
is healing is an acceptance of what is. It is also appreciation for what is, acceptance and appreciation, and also understanding a deeper level of like reality, like what's really going on, and accepting that. That's healing.
Okay. Have you gotten there?
Yeah, plenty.
Really? How do you know?
Mm, because the way things affect you don't affect you that way anymore. And you look at them differently. You
Yeah.
evolve your thinking about
Yeah.
how you felt about
But I
something.
was pissing you off earlier, wasn't I?
No, no, you wasn't pissing me off. It's just
Yeah.
it's
No,
what you call it's
this came
natural
out of you.
frustration. You
This
got
came out.
frustrated with
It,
me.
this came out of your mouth. Okay.
You
Why are
got
you frustrated?
frustrated. You said no, 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 not like
Why
that. You were frustrated
why are you frustrated? Why are you talking over me?
because
Why are you frustrated?
okay. To be honest with you, people are frustrated when you ask them something and then you turn around and you put a roadblock and you keep asking them for it and you keep putting a roadblock. That's frustration.
In other words, you didn't give me the answer that I asked. Okay, you didn't answer my question. Kept avoiding it. Got frustrated. Okay, have you gotten there? The answer is no. Nobody ever gets there. That's it's called a path. Never get there.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I've had as life happens, I heal from different things, different
Yes,
disappointments.
yes. It's a journey, is it not?
Yeah,
You don't think
yeah,
it's a journey for them too?
it is. And all I'm saying is, I think that releasing the angst and the anger. I
So
mean, can we
is
just
that
be honest for 1 second? Just
hold
hold
on,
up.
hold on a second. Is that instant though?
Of course, it's not instant, but if you are giving somebody the tools to constantly be angry, then they're going to regurgitate the anger. And
So
let's just want to keep it real for 1 second,
no,
just
no, no,
one
no, no, no,
second,
no.
and I
Don't
want to be
overtalk.
quiet.
Don't overtalk me.
I'm not
Okay.
over talking.
How do you know where they got on the path at? At the beginning, the middle, the end. How do you know?
I don't know exactly where they are, but what
Exactly.
I'm
So
telling you, but I
uh-huh.
just want to say this, but don't be just please let me say this.
Go
What
ahead and
I'm
say it.
saying is just this simple. I just want you're a very intelligent brother. Just look at
Just say it.
I would request you to go
Just
back
say
and
it.
look.
Just say
Let
it.
me say it. I'm saying it.
No, 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 no. Without the
Go
preamble. Just
back and
say it.
look in the chat. Go back and look in the chat and review it. And I just want you to tell me when you get done that I don't know how much of the stream, but look at the comments. I stopped looking at them once you asked me to stop looking at them. I
Hmm.
looked at them twice before that. But I ask you and I invite you to go look back at the chat, and that will be your answer
Yeah.
for what I'm saying about
Yeah.
the behavior, the lack of class,
Hmm.
the angriness, the
Mm-hmm.
insulting, the
Uh-huh.
immaturity. I
Uh-huh.
want you to
Oh.
just
Oh. What you
that's
what you
all.
what you were doing? Interesting. Interesting how
Trolling
that
is
comes back on you.
troll. Okay,
Oh,
so there
well,
you
that's
go. There
different,
you
huh?
go.
Okay. That's the difference in that. Oh, okay. Well, trolling is class behavior, huh? Interesting. Interesting how that happens.
You're a dangerous man.
I know. Pull the beam out of your own eyes,
uh,
doctor,
you know,
right?
I have to say, you are your voice is very interesting. It's like
Why is that?
it's hypnotic.
Oh, really?
It's entrancement.
Hmm.
That's what you
Yeah.
have. You have
Hey,
a real power
that's how I got a lot of
of
coochie that way. When
you
my
have a
dick
power
was
of
working.
entrancement.
When
Yeah.
my dick was working, I got a lot of coochie that way.
We back to that again.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna hear this a lot. Okay. That was offensive. Okay. From a classy woman at that, right?
Were you offended?
Hmm?
Were you
No,
offended?
I've heard it before. But I had a retort, but I didn't use it.
But you know that women just say that because we know for certain type of men it gets under their skin. It doesn't even mean
Oh,
anything.
really? It doesn't
Yeah.
mean any, it doesn't. But did you mean to hurt the man, or just have a giggle with the man
Who you talking about? Ed?
when you no when you say that to a man? Does it mean to injure?
It's like a silly way of just a jab. It's
Oh,
a
a jab.
silly
Oh,
jab.
really? Going at somebody's sexuality is a jab. Really?
It's a jab. Yeah.
The thing is, if I said it to a woman, it wouldn't be a jab, and it would be a punch, right?
Nah, I think that happens all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
How women actually react to that?
They get mad.
I mean, how
That's what
mad?
people
A
do.
little mad, a giggle
I
mad, a explosive mad.
It depends on how real it is. I mean,
So,
this is the thing.
so,
I'm on the internet, and that's what
uh,
people do on the internet. People say stuff they wouldn't say to folks' face. That's just real. And
does
people get liquid
how
courage, and they say stuff, and
so
you're an
so
icon, and you
so
weren't a person
so
to me
so so
before.
so
So
how hurtful is that to a person, to a
I'm gonna be
female?
honest with you. I'm an icon to a lot of people. So I would everything that anybody says to me, they don't know me, and it blows off the back because I know it's just the icon they're
No,
talking
no, no.
to.
How hurtful is that to a female if a woman said that? If a man said that to a woman about her sex or her looks or something like that, how
When
hurtful
you're an
is it?
icon on the internet, nobody
No, no,
knows
no, no,
you.
no,
It
no,
doesn't
no, no,
mean
no, no,
anything.
no. Not if that's not what I asked. How hurtful is it?
If it's in real life, it's hurtful. But if it's
I mean,
not,
even on the internet, is it? That's real life to people,
you are
right?
immature if you let
No,
yourself be an
no,
icon
that's
that
not
you
what I
think it is.
asked. It's
Yo,
not what
come
it.
on, you got
Stop,
to be
stop,
real with
stop,
that.
stop being defensive. Okay, it is
I'm not
real.
being defensive. I'm telling you.
But does a classy woman who's upper middle class say that if she's being classy, that's educated, that's actually
I
enlightened?
mean, you can judge me
No,
if you
no, no,
want
no, no,
to.
no, no. That's not what I asked. Do they say that?
Well, I am one, so yeah, they do. That's
They
the
do.
answer. Yeah, they
Oh,
do.
that's the answer. Okay. Well,
That's your
then
answer.
I guess you're not as enlightened as you think you are. Okay.
I wouldn't judge that. I'm just.
I would.
I mean, but that's the thing. You
I
don't
would.
judge fairly sometimes. You
I
don't judge
would.
fairly,
I said I
BGS.
do. You know.
You got
Yeah.
these guys that are acting like incels and they're
Yeah,
angry
that
and
those are the guys,
ants.
but I'm talking about you.
And you're saying that they're not that's normal and it's not
Don't
normal.
deflect. 'Cause I don't judge the host by the chat. I don't look at
I'm
it.
not judging you by your chat. I'm just telling you that the guys that you're dealing with,
Well, I'm talking about
just go
you.
back and read it,
Uh,
brother.
m-
Just go back and read it and
I,
feel the
I'm
energy of it. You're a
I'm talking
healer.
about
You're
I'm
a
talking about
healer.
you.
You should be able to feel it.
I don't need those platitudes. I'm too old for that, right?
No, I'm just telling you, you're a healer. You should be able to feel it. That's no
Don't try.
platitude in that.
May that doesn't work on me. Okay.
I'm not trying to do anything except say
That doesn't work on me. Save it, okay? Don't work on me. That doesn't work on me.
I'm not trying to work anything,
Yeah,
BGS.
May. That doesn't work on me. Save it, okay?
I invite anybody who's listening to go back and view the chat and
They
see
sure
what
can.
kind of energy is there. That's all
Okay.
I'm saying.
Who's listening? Guess who comes to the channel?
They
Men,
need to
right?
see themselves. That's right. They
No,
need
no,
to see
men.
themselves.
And guess what? They're gonna all come back and laugh and agree. Okay.
That's the energy that
But
you guys are
no,
doing.
well,
Yeah.
listen to yourself and the energy that you brought, okay? And then review it, okay? All right. Go be happy, babe.
All right. Take care.
Peace.
Bye.
All right, folks. I hope you got your popcorn in. All right. These are your women. Enough said. With that, I'm gonna bounce off of this BGS out, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.